as we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
Hell yes.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it.
Elizabeth Warren stood up and applauded.
Well, we all did. I did too. He said, did Nancy stand up? Yeah, I did too. A lot of people stood up. A lot of Democrats stood up. The inference he wants to draw is there was something wrong with that, which there wasn't. And if there was, people get prosecuted for it.
I doubt it.
In this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. Broadcasting from a Montana wilderness fortress at the headwaters of the Missouri, this is Matt Christiansen Live.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is Matt Christiansen Live, a proud duct tape production for Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. Thank you for tuning in. Sitting shotgun tonight is Batman hanging on by a thread. We'll see if his connection holds. Welcome back. Nope, he's
Why, thank you. It looks.
All right. Yeah. The duct tape is in action here. Batman is on AOL dial-up from 1998. We're going to see if we can resolve that. Skulldugger, welcome back.
Saddle up, partner.
We have you, Batman? I can't really tell.
I mean, I'm here. I can hear
Oh
everything.
boy. Okay. I tell you what, man. I'm gonna have to let you
I
go.
look
Actually,
like
it's just not gonna work. You are a robot guy.
Yeah, Robobat.
So,
All right.
if you want, see if you can test that internet connection and ping me, and maybe I can bring you back in.
Sounds like fun. All right.
Yeah, see if we can get that resolved, and we'll see if we can get it back in here. Sorry about that. The duct tape rolls on.
Duct tape all over the place. It's a disgrace.
Okay, let's see if we can pull this up back the way it belongs. Starting off on a high note tonight. That's always good. Should we get Joshy Boy in here? Joshy, if you're out there and you want to like fill in on an emergency, you want to do emergency panel duty, hop in the Zoom. You can join. But otherwise, it'll just be me and Skulldugger. That's fine too. In the news for discussion tonight. Last night, of course, was Trump's State of the Union address, breaking his own record for longest State of the Union ever. I think last year was the record, but last year doesn't count as a State of the Union. It was just an address to a joint session of Congress. So I don't know if that record holds or not, but it was an hour 45, and normally I would say that's way too long. However, entertainment factor was there for the most part. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I guess as long as you make it interesting, you can take as long as you want.
Russell Crowe, are you not entertained? I could bitch about how long it was, but I mean, I was entertained. I won't deny that. So we'll break down some of that. Of course, Democrats just can't help themselves. I know the game is you stand for this, you don't stand for that. Yeah. You always try to get them. But man, last year they wouldn't stand for the cancer kid. This year, a lot of them didn't stand for the hockey team. And Irina Zarutska's mom, or was it her mom? Which parent was it? I can't remember. But Irina Zarutska's parents. Joshy says give him 10 minutes. So we'll see what happens there. We might have a Joshy Boy emergency appearance. But we'll get into that. Gavin Newsom panders to a black mayor, the Atlanta mayor. By the way, there's a dog cameo behind you. Gavin Newsom panders to the black mayor of Atlanta by humble bragging about how stupid he is, implicitly like the rest of the community of color to whom he is speaking. I hope we can get Batman back because I wanted to talk to him about another rainbow attack in Idaho. And there's not a lot of news coverage of this, or at least discussion this week. We had another rainbow person loading up a stolen ambulance with gasoline, driving it into a building that was leasing space to DHS and ICE, and dumping the gasoline all over. She didn't actually successfully start the fire, but we had a near rainbow person arson on an ICE building in Boise, Idaho. So we'll get into that as well. Plus, we'll take your calls, voicemails, and emails. If you'd like to call the show live, you can do that using the Discord server linked in the description. There are instructions and help available on the server for you. If you'd like to leave a voicemail or a text message, the number to do that is in the description for you as well. Right now, I do have room for a voicemail or two or a text message or two. If you'd like to send one for later in the show, you got about the next hour to do that. Before we get into it, we got to say hello to our featured listener-owned business for the evening, and that's our friends at Western Razor Company. We know we're being lied to on a daily basis by our government, by corporate media, and by razor companies too. Think about it. Their ads used to appeal to your masculinity. Then they took advantage of your sensitivity with aloe strips. They kept adding blades, thinking you wouldn't notice how clogged they get. And the more they changed, the more plastic and disposable they became. The honest truth is those other razor brands are lying to your face, and our friends at Western Razor aren't going to take it anymore. That's why their safety razors are 100% metal construction, made in the USA and made with integrity. The replacement blades are inexpensive too, pennies each. So you get a great shave and you save money long term, because when you buy Western Razor once, it lasts forever. Listeners of this show get a 10% discount on any order when they use promo code MATT10 at checkout. Don't let those other razor brands lie to your face. Go to westernrazor.com and order yours today. Western Razor, the last razor you will ever need. Promo code MATT10, westernrazor.com. Find all the information on our special offers at mattchristiansenmedia.com/deals. Deals by listeners, for listeners. I got the bat signal, Skulldugger. He says he has resolved his connection problem. So should we see if that's true? Let's
give it a go.
See if we can bring him in here. One moment. Okay. Oh, you know what? Everybody's here. Should I just let everybody in? Whatever. Let's do it this way. Stand by, everybody. Hey, Joshy.
Hello.
So you're welcome to hang out if you want. I guess Batman is maybe resolved.
I think I argued out the problem.
Oh, okay, cool.
So do you want to hang out, Joshy, or do you want to dip?
I was only going to cover until Batman gets back.
Well, we are going to be talking. We are going to be talking about the N-word. So
that's true. Do you want to stick around for an N-word drop?
All right. As everybody's favorite.
Okay, let me get this resolved here. Hold on.
I got it.
Yeah, we need some wisdom on whether this Tourette's guy needs to be held accountable for his all right. His transgressions or not. Okay, so the question here is: there ever? And I'm not asking you, Joshy, because I know that you're a reasonable person on this, but for the diehards, the activists, the question is there ever an N-word that could possibly earn the sympathy for the professional victim? Because if ever there was, it would be a guy who has a legitimate medical condition that makes him inclined to say it. I assume we're all familiar with the condition of Tourette syndrome, right? You have these outbursts. I guess sometimes you say the N-word.
Famous decades ago.
Yeah. So this was a hilarious moment to me. I'm sure it was mortifying to the guy it happened to, and I'm sure he he's not apologizing, and I don't think he should, but I'm sure he's sorry for the situation. Nobody wants to live this out. But this was the BAFTA Awards in London on Sunday night. That's the British Academy of Film and Television, British Oscars, basically, I gather. And early in the ceremony, you've got Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, who were presenting the award for Best Visual Effects. And you have this Tourette syndrome activist, John Davidson. He had a Tourette's outburst, and he yelled the N-word and yelled bitch. Now, I've boosted the audio a little bit to hear it more clearly.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making. We're here to...
Okay. Now, as awkward as that was, everyone there was actually pre-warned that it was a possibility it could happen, because obviously this guy's aware of his condition, and if you're going to go into a public place, it's something like that could happen. So there was an announcement before the event there that said, hey, there's a Tourette's guy here. He might have an outburst. If you do hear that, it's not within his control, and it's obviously not a reflection of his views. So just be prepared for that. According to the reporting here, people actually clapped. They were honored to have a person with a condition or a disability in their presence, and they clapped for him and his bravery until he said the N. Because now that he has said the N, the host, Michael B. Jordan, he is actually reportedly repulsed. He is repulsed by what, according to this reporting, repulsed by the N-word, the racial slur that was hurled at him. Even though, of course, nothing was hurled at, it wasn't directed at him. It just happened to be in a moment of silence amid his commentary. But the reporting also says that Michael B. Jordan's parents were in tears as well.
That's unacceptable.
Jeez, what a bitch.
Jamie Foxx, who was not, I don't know if he was there or not, but he tweeted exactly that. What did he post? He said, that's unacceptable. Yeah, Jamie Foxx tweeted out, unacceptable. And both the BBC, which broadcast the show, and the BAFTA's organization, they've apologized for the incident, especially for failing to edit the slur before it aired. But Davidson, the Tourette's guy himself, so far has not apologized. He did issue a statement through I forget which outlet he spoke to, but his statement reads in part, it was Variety. I wanted to thank BAFTA and everyone involved in the awards. What did he say here? Let me pull it up. I want to thank BAFTA and everyone involved in the awards last night for their support and understanding, inviting me to attend the broadcast. I appreciated the announcement to the this is what I'm talking about. The announcement to the auditorium in advance of the recording, warning everyone that my tics are involuntary and not a reflection of my personal beliefs. And
but
he goes
why
on.
Specifically the N-word, though? That's got to be a troll.
So you don't even buy it as authentic. You think it's not a medical thing. It's a troll.
I mean, I know Tourette's is a medical term, but it has to be a troll.
Well, I guess I'd have to know. Do we have any doctors in that? Does the N-word just... Why the N-word instead of any other swear word or slur is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Maybe he has an explanation for that.
It so happens I actually just saw a video of another guy who happens to have Tourette's, and just like maybe earlier today or yesterday or something like that. And his whole thing, his tick was he would cross himself compulsively all the time, and there was nothing he could do about it. So I don't know exactly what it is that creates these tics, or which one of what inspires them, what brings any particular tick to the fore. But it's amusing to me that I see more or less in the same week, within the last couple of days, one where a guy screams obscenities, the ones most likely to be most offensive to most people, and the other like almost apologizing for him.
Yeah. The activists are not accepting the explanation. Maybe they think this is trolling too, Joshy, because you've got tweets going viral saying, does Tourette's make you unable to apologize, though? Of course,
that's Rachel Dolezal, right?
No, that's Rachel True, who happens to have Dolezal hair. But I don't know what her deal is. She just looks like she looks like if Rachel Dolezal was actually black, but half white. That's what she looks like.
Bro, she's a mulatto, so she gets half credit.
She's like 50% more authentic, Rachel Dolezal. You're right.
But she can only use the first three letters.
But yeah, the question is the apology warranted? And of course, if this is an authentic medical episode, it's not. But it answers the question, like even the person with let's assume Joshy's wrong and it's not a troll, that this is an authentic condition. Even being disabled, even having a medical condition is not enough to earn the sympathy of the diehard activists. You must still kiss the ring. You must still kneel before the throne. They do not care.
But what about all those activists who call that black cop a house N-word? Or that other guy who said, shoot me, bro.
No, that's fine. They were doing it for the right reasons.
Oh, well.
And also, one of them is a martyr to the cause.
Yeah.
Man, that's very true.
A martyr to the cause of pedophilia. Right. Joseph Rosenbaum. God rest his soul. Sorry, did I cut you off, Skulldugger? Did you have a thought?
Well, I was saying, like, apparently this guy called the queen a bitch once. Like, same guy.
Like the as in the Queen of England?
The Queen of England. Yeah.
He called Queen Elizabeth a bitch.
America.
To her face.
Well, I mean, I guess you're right. There's one queen, but
he met her in person.
I don't know if he meant like Freddie Mercury or something. You know? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and he called her a bitch in upon meeting the Queen. He just called her a bitch.
So
he also had a situation in his past where somebody had a medical situation and was actually like dead, and he was calling the emergency 999 in England.
Yeah.
And when the police got there, he just blurted out to them, I killed her. So
wow.
his version of Tourette's basically literally makes him say the very things he does not want to say. Like he will have a thought in his head.
They are connected.
It's like there's a place in his brain where like the thing you don't say is stored, and that is the thing that gets accessed.
Right. So if your theory is correct, it's not, the N-word is not random insofar as there were two black presenters on the stage, but his psychology, his condition, in his mind, he's thinking, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say, and then he just, there it goes. The N just flies out of there. Do you buy that theory, Joshy?
That actually makes it funnier if it's true, though. It's just
I feel bad for him. Yeah.
I do feel bad for the guy, but that makes it even funnier if it wasn't a troll.
Does that mean that other dude that was constantly crossing himself is actually a demon? He's doing all the things he didn't want to do.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it's a troll, and I don't think this guy should have to apologize for his disability. Like, we don't make other people apologize for their disabilities. Like, nobody has to apologize because they're in a wheelchair.
Well,
yeah, you do. You have to apologize for being white.
That's true.
Oh, white's a disability now. Okay.
Based on your understanding, it sounds like this guy has a history of it, though. So this is not a first time thing.
That's why they made a movie out of his life. I
didn't even know that. See, I don't know anything about him.
So that's why he's at the BAFTAs, because they made a movie called I Swear. That's the name of the movie, is I Swear.
Oh, does he? Yeah.
So he is a Tourette's activist himself. So he is an activist bringing awareness to the different forms of Tourette's.
Well, that makes even more sense that he's there. I thought he had some job in the movie industry or something. Okay. I didn't even know. Thank you for giving me the full context. But okay, we got to get to the State of the Union. Josh, did you have a final thought? And then did you want to take off, or do you want to stick around?
I'll stick around, but
he sounded like, all right.
Yeah. He sounded like Stinkmaner a little bit, if you're familiar with the Boondocks when he said that.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Actually, I don't have much thoughts on the State of the Union because I didn't watch it. So,
let's catch you up then. Batman, did you catch it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Before, when you were lost there, I was saying it's now the new record. Trump broke his own record for longest speech ever, which normally I would bitch about, but the entertainment value was there. I can't deny that, and I'm gonna catch us up on some of the highlights here, but you could spend another hour 45 going over the whole thing just because there's a lot to talk about in it. But I want to start with the rah America stuff first, because, in theory, this is stuff we should all be able to actually unite around, and yet we still can't. But Trump gave a very enthusiastic introduction to the U.S. men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Fresh off defeating Canada, here was that moment, just yelling into the mic.
Here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in. That's the first time I've ever seen them get up.
Wow.
And actually, not all of them did get up.
And that's true. I tried to find a better clip, but you can see in this angle with a wider shot that it's hard to tell, maybe they sat down early, but there's a lot of Democrats seated during the applause for the hockey team.
Yeah.
So once again, they didn't cheer for the cancer kid last year. Some of them maybe sit down but still clap this time. The hockey team is controversial. There was a hit piece actually in USA Today that the U.S. men's hockey team has missed the cultural moment because they talked to Trump on the phone. They met with Trump. And it's all part of a prevailing right-wing culture in hockey in the NHL. And this author at USA Today, her name is, Mary Clark. Mary Clark goes through a whole series of essentially Me Too allegations in hockey and the NHL, sexual assault allegations and so forth. And as evidence that this is some right-wing problem, and as though no other sports league has any problems with abusing women at all. You won't find that in the NFL. You won't find that in the NBA. You won't find that in Major League Baseball. But the hockey team is controversial. They're part of a right-wing culture that failed to meet the zeitgeist, failed to meet the cultural moment.
Shut up, silly woman.
You guys have any hockey team thoughts?
I don't really watch hockey because it's a white sport, but
there are some black guys in it. I've seen some.
Hockey, insofar as I can sort of tell, hockey seems to be the sport that attracts the most conservative players.
There's polling to that effect cited, in her story.
Yeah, so this doesn't surprise me. So it didn't surprise me that they all accepted. It didn't surprise me that they were willing to meet with Trump. It doesn't surprise me that they decided to come here. It just seems par for the course.
I really like the fact that they were really vocal about their pride in America after you had athletes earlier in the Olympics. Saying that they weren't necessarily proud of everything that being an American communicates to the rest of the world. These guys are just like, oh yeah, no, America's great, and that was refreshing to see in the same Olympics. You had people getting a bronze medal and trashing America, and then people getting a gold medal and saying America's great. It's like.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up, is the people who, regardless really whether or not they have conservative or liberal leanings, the ones who sort of stood for the country wound up winning. It's some storybook shit. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the ones who are trashing us and, supposed to be representing us, but really shitting all over our history and our doctrine and our culture and all that stuff, they got wrecked. I mean, that one Amber Glenn bitch, she got 13th, I think it was.
Oof. Was she the self-described woke bitch? Is that the one? Oh. Well, speaking of medals, the medals of honor that were awarded was, to me, by far the highlight of the event. There were also 2 Purple Hearts awarded. And I was surprised to learn that this is the first time in the history of the country that we have awarded medals of honor during a State of the Union address. Now, of course, traditionally there's a whole ceremony at the White House, and I assume there probably will be for these guys later. But this was a great venue for it. There were 2 guys. One is a 100-year-old Korean War Navy pilot. This is Captain Royce Williams. He got a Medal of Honor after his action in 1952. He had a dogfight in the Korean War over the Sea of Japan. He shot down 4 Soviet fighters in a 35-minute battle, despite being outnumbered and flying an inferior aircraft. Then you have the guy who just flew the Chinook helicopter, getting everybody out of Venezuela after ousting Maduro. And previously, I didn't know that injuries were actually this severe. I know that nobody died, and I had heard reports of isolated injuries. But this story of this pilot was actually new to me when Trump told it. So this guy, this is Chief Warrant Officer Eric Stover. He's the Army helicopter pilot. And he took fire. There was machine gun fire on the chopper. He took fire and took 4 shots in his leg, and apparently his leg is in pretty bad shape, but he still got everybody out of there. And man, how crucial that was to make sure that everybody got out of there safe, not just for the success of the mission, but just think the way that mission is viewed as a courageous success or a catastrophic failure. If, say, instead that pilot can't sustain through that, they crash, whatever happens, you've got Black Hawk Down, Venezuela edition or something like that. So this guy's story is really incredible. Then you had you had the two, the one surviving National Guardsman and the parents of the National Guards woman who was shot last year. Remember, there was that Afghan guy who traveled from Washington to Washington, D.C. near the White House and shot both of them. So you have Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. She was killed, and her parents were presented with a Purple Heart. Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf was shot in the head, and he has had skull reconstruction surgery. He did survive, obviously. He was in attendance. So he received his Purple Heart. Sarah Beckstrom's parents received hers. But here are all four of those moments in secession.
The Congressional Medal of Honor. Purple Heart.
That is some real America stuff. And God bless them all.
Indeed.
Well, you guys have any thoughts on that, or you just want to talk shit about Democrats? I can get to that.
The guy who shot down to Korean pilots despite being outnumbered, that's got to be in an inferior aircraft. That's got to be one hell of a story to tell.
Yeah, well, the fact that he's 100 years old to maybe tell it too is pretty incredible. So
that is pretty incredible.
Good for him. God bless him, man.
That's definitely a story I've got to look into at some point. That's like the kind of thing that I would deep dive into for fun.
Yeah, I've not heard the name before, so very cool. But Democrats can't help themselves, and as I mentioned, so first of all, even the hockey team is controversial. What should be non-controversial pro-America stuff becomes controversial. And as I said earlier, I know that the State of the Union is always a game of trying to get people not to stand for this or to stand for that or whatever. But man, you can't stand for the hockey team. And then Trump, this isn't even like a crafty trap. It's just, hey, if you agree with this statement, stand up in agreement. And the statement is the American government should serve the American citizen and not illegal immigrants. And Democrats won't stand for it.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens. Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You are gay.
I mean, are we really surprised by them just sitting down? That's what they did last time.
Yeah, with the cancer kid last year.
Well, and that's that. So this is Trump learning. So they did the sit down in defiance last year. So this year he's like, oh, okay, well, let me go ahead and count. I'm going to bank on them.
He needs to do
seated. So I'm just going to go ahead and get as many of these clips for the internet as possible of them staying seated for things that they absolutely should be standing up for.
He needs to lean in.
What he's doing right now is he's getting footage for the next campaign run.
Correct. Yeah,
absolutely.
Right?
This is for the midterms.
There was that Peter Griffin bit on Family Guy, old Family Guy, where he was trying to pass something through Congress and break a filibuster or something. And he said, whoever doesn't vote for this is gay or what. I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember
but if
that.
Trump lean in all the way for his final State of the Union, if you don't stand up,
You are gay. LMAO.
do it. And see.
Most of them probably are gay.
They probably are. Now, Rashida Tlaib, she didn't just sit down. It looks like she was flipping him off during that part of the speech. You can see that middle finger there. It's not high res, but it sure looks like she's giving Trump
she's giving him
the finger. And you'd like to think, like you're saying, Josh, I'd like to think, wow, this is stupid political suicide, because you are just giving Republicans ad material going into the midterm. But their voters love this. Their voters are in favor of this. So this is actually ad material for them.
So
yeah, that's. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick. I've got two things on that. In that, first of all, The State of the Union is not widely watched by most Americans. Like, this is one of those things that just kind of comes and goes. So unless you're super politically attuned, like, most people just don't even really care. Like, I can't think of too many people who honestly have been swayed in their voting by something that they witnessed in a State of the Union. So I don't think that much of this is going to have a whole lot of political capital going forward. But this is actually something where both sides actually banked kind of material to use. Yeah. Because Trump got exactly what he wanted because they all stayed seated. But then the Democrats got exactly what they wanted because they defied the bad orange Nazi. So
yeah, they were already out calling that a
wins.
racist moment, and they probably will frame it that way.
So they both get to just go ahead and spin it how they want to for their campaigns, and so it probably nets out to a null factor.
Speaking of racist moments, I'm most disappointed in Congressman Al Green because Al Green put on. Do you remember Al Green, the caveman looking guy shaking his cane last year?
I forgot what he did, but
he just stood up and shouted, and he shook his cane, and he got kicked out, and it was a good show.
Real quick to kind of do Skulldugger's point. One, I forgot about the State of the Union. That's why I didn't watch it. But two, this really won't change anything. You're still going to have the Democrats voting for the Democrats and the Republicans voting for the Republicans.
I hope there are enough independent voters out there who can look at something like that and say, okay, I got problems with Trump or whatever, but these people will not stand for the American citizen over the illegal immigrant. That's a problem, but maybe not.
If you're still an independent in this day and age, you're not paying attention to politics.
You're not watching the State of the Union. Yeah.
And and also, like, if you're if them stealing and wasting your money on fraudulent stuff, it doesn't move the ticker for you, but them staying seated for some of this, theatrics is the thing that moves you, then I don't really want you voting anyway. Like, you're a weird voter.
Well, Al Green was there again, and I'm disappointed. His stunt was just low effort. It was lazy. It was unimpressive.
I love this one.
I like the sign, I guess.
Great.
But, all right, you tell me. Let me go through it. You tell me why it's worthy of praise, because all he did this year was show up with his sign that says "Black people are not apes," which is
that's real.
No,
that's real.
It's aren't apes, and he's blocking the A with his hand, so it says "Black people rent apes."
Oh.
It doesn't get better than this.
Okay.
Bingo.
This is the biggest self-own of all of his stupid antics. This one absolutely takes the cake.
Okay,
that's black people rent apes.
That's okay. That's a clever angle. Confirm. All right. Black people rent apes. Okay. Well, it's supposed to say black people aren't apes. And this, of course, is a reference to Trump's meme accidentally shared a few weeks ago that depicted the Obamas as apes in the context of all the African animals Democrats portrayed as them in some sort of Lion King depiction where Trump is the king of the jungle. But let's assume that Al Green meant black people aren't apes instead of black people rent apes. Number one, even if the meme depicted the Obamas as apes, in addition to all those numerous Democrats out there who were depicted as animals in that meme, the meme itself did not say black people are apes. At its worst, it was commentary about the Obamas. And two, if anyone should deliver the message that black people are not apes, I don't think it should be Al Green, because that guy is an actual Geico caveman. But here he is getting kicked out in the first 5 or so minutes of the speech.
Well, let's stand up for that, don't they?
And we will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today our border is secure.
Now,
you want
Joshy,
to know one of the most fun things about this is that technically humans are apes. So black people are apes as much as white people are apes. We are all great apes.
Well, I'm going to ask Joshy, because he's the one person I can ask, where does Al Green fit on the evolutionary scale? I think that's about the right mark. there.
No, you went too far up, dude.
Oh, he's a few notches down. Okay, they were too
too advanced for somebody like that.
Left.
That
it was just that the superior one stole his fucking cane.
All right.
Okay. Well, the real MVP, the real hero of the night, other than the Medal of Honor guys and the Purple Heart recipients,
is
the real
man.
Well, it's the guy. It's the actual man, I assume. The actual man who is running the cameras. It's the camera operator guy. Because Trump, a couple moments, Trump talked about transgenderism, and they cut right to Congressman Sarah McBride of Delaware and just stayed right on that chiseled face.
Daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
And then Trump talked about the Somali pirates, and as soon as he did, they had it ready to go. Just cut right to Ilhan Omar's face.
The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance.
And there was Sarah McBride right there, right there next to him. So you got the hijabbed Somali and the man pretending to be a woman shaking their head at Trump saying that Mogadishu sucks. And I just wonder, if you're going to shake your head in disagreement, why did you leave Mogadishu to come here?
Bro, whoever pans the camera, they need to get a raise.
Yeah.
So that's the
that dude
that's
had
the
a huge grin on his face the entire time, and you know he did.
He understood the assignment. Yeah.
That's the director. That's the director for the broadcast, because he's the one who tells you know, this camera go, this camera go. So he was the one, whoever the director of this broadcast was for C-SPAN. He's the real hero.
Yeah.
Still, I'm still give those cameramen a raise.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just said, oh yeah.
Okay.
A raise indeed. Real heroes.
The only fumble in the performance was that the director, the camera guy, that team, they missed on Nancy Pelosi, because Trump called out Nancy Pelosi over her investment account performance. Of course, she has long faced allegations of insider trading. She consistently beats market performance on her stock trades. And has during her time in Congress. In the last decade, I'm sure many people are aware, but Pelosi's account has generated an 838% return, beating all the major indices several times over. But Trump called on Congress to pass tougher law against insider trading in Congress, and many Democrats, they did clap for this. Elizabeth Warren stood up and clapped at the idea of banning members of Congress from trading stocks and other assets.
As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information. They stood up for that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here?
Nancy Pelosi was there.
That, of course, she didn't stand up because the puppeteer of her corpse wasn't ready to make her.
Yeah, he was working with the camera guy to make sure that whole production was on point. Nancy Pelosi was there. My sources say she did, in fact, stand up to clap for the proposed bill, but I haven't seen video of that. And she was not put on camera during the broadcast, as far as I've seen from any angle. But responding on CNN, Nancy says this: "Well, I did stand up. I did clap that particular proposal," and she says she'll support this new bill.
He called you out specifically around, of course, congressional stock trading. What do you say back to him?
I say back to him, as that's what members said, look at your own self. The inference he wants to draw is there was something wrong with that, which there wasn't. And if there was, people get prosecuted for it. For a long time now, we've been trying to pass this law. Now it has more support than it had before. And
Elizabeth Warren stood up and applauded. Elizabeth Warren stood and applauded tonight when the president talked about it.
Well, we all did. I did too. He said, did Nancy stand up? Yeah, I did too. A lot of people stood up. A lot of Democrats stood up. And what I'm concerned about is our democracy, which he is destroying, even in the 250th year anniversary.
So I always want to say he's destroying our democracy when I know we're a republic, but democracy is what put him in there. He's not destroying anything.
Well, yeah, it's like he won. Did he get a majority vote? I can't remember. Did he clip 50% or was he just shy? I don't remember how it worked. But obviously got the most. He won the popular vote regardless.
The party who hasn't had an honest primary since 2008, even if you consider that one to be an honest primary, is trying to that one's questionable, is trying to lecture us about degrading democracy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to clue you guys in on what the rules on stock trading are, because I wasn't clear on the specifics, but when she says people will be prosecuted if they do something wrong, there was the Stock Act passed in 2012, which doesn't ban stock trading for members of Congress, but does require them to submit reports on their trades within 30 to 45 days. If you don't comply, you get fined $200. So, oh no, not that. That's why they're considering making the bill stronger or introducing a new bill that would actually ban the trading outright. When you're in Congress, you cannot trade stocks, bonds, some other assets perhaps. Neither can your family members or your senior staff. And if you do, the financial penalties are much harsher. But when Pelosi says the people who violate this get prosecuted, point of fact, no member of Congress has been fined, has been found to have liability in the civil or criminal context under that 2012 law at all. Maybe an area for Pam Bondi to once again work on.
Come and get me, Pam Bondi.
What she meant to say is when you do it, you get prosecuted. When we do it, it gets swept under the rug.
And the question is, that's great that you now support this new bill to ban stock trading for members of Congress. I once remember when you were Speaker of the House for quite some time. Not only did you not push for the bill to come up for a vote, you actively worked to defeat it, as the New York Times reported in December last year. Pelosi resisted stock trading ban as wealth grew, fueling suspicion. Talks about how she was
that picture.
It's not the most flattering.
That looks like something out of a horror film.
Well,
I've seen horror movie monsters that look considerably more attractive.
How do you get a more flattering picture of her? She is a ghoul. Like, there is no way to make this woman not look like that. That is what she looks like.
Yeah, actually, if you cut her nose off, she actually would look like something from Fallout, wouldn't she?
You know, Bill Maher was saying on Friday that it's ridiculous to claim that Democrats eat babies. Looking at her skin, I'm actually persuaded to his side, because if she ate babies, I think she would look a little less wrinkly. She's 84, though. I should probably be a little more fair. But anyway, in 2021, Nancy Pelosi was asked, hey, do you support banning members of Congress from being able to trade stocks while they're in office? She said, we're a free market economy and members of Congress should be able to participate in that. Scrolling down in the story, there were members of her staff speaking with the New York Times saying that the reason that she had resisted the idea as this gained popularity in Congress was because she didn't want to concede any ground to the implication that she was corrupt. She thought if she supported the bill, it would make her look like she was granting the premise that she had acted corruptly. In fact, the situation worked out the opposite way. The fact that she has resisted has made her look corrupt, in addition to her very impressive stock portfolio performance. But for Nancy Pelosi to say, oh yeah, of course I'm in favor of this. That's fine. Shut the door while I'm on my way out. I don't care. We all remember the last several decades where you opposed such a thing and made yourself fabulously wealthy.
Right. Why do you think she is the face of this? She is the person that everybody calls out when this topic comes up. She's the first name out the gate whenever you're talking about Congress, people in Congress benefiting from stock trades.
Yeah,
because,
and of course, the
because
reason
her
for that
performance is ridiculous.
Well, her performance makes Warren Buffett look like a fucking amateur.
Which he has called out. Warren Buffett has actually called her out on this.
Yeah.
I am learning so much about stocks right now.
Well, if there was a Nancy Pelosi mutual fund or something, then buy it right away. Although maybe the sun is setting on that.
The grammar Nazi in me has a question. Is she divorced?
Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah.
No. Paul Pelosi. Remember, he was the victim of that hammer attack.
Okay, so why did the article say Miss Pelosi instead of Mrs. Pelosi?
Oh, interesting. I was wondering what the grammar angle was,
Because
but you're
it's
right.
written by a fag.
I think that is the official title
Style.
for for members of Congress. It's Mr. and Ms.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't think they use Mrs.
Okay. Well, they typically use Miss in that form when somebody is divorced. That's why I asked.
You what?
Miss, like what?
Let me ask you a grammar question, sir.
You know what? No, fuck you. All right, I said that right. You're not gonna give me shit over that. All right.
Rewind the tape. We'll let the people decide. All right. The Democrats, I mentioned, they can't help themselves. The ones who were there wouldn't clap for normal American stuff. The ones who didn't attend had a couple different protest events outside, counter events. There was the so-called People's State of the Union on the National Mall, and another one branded the State of the Swamp, which was held at the National Press Club. And it looks like both events were pretty poorly attended, despite the presence of celebrities like Robert De Niro.
Who gives a crap?
The event was co-sponsored by the Portland Frog Brigade, which is a group of left-wing activists who dressed up as frogs to protest the Portland ice facility. Portland's new Democrat member of Congress, Maxine Dexter, acknowledged the frogs during her time on stage.
I'm a mother. I'm a physician, and I have a flag. And I am the proud representative for Oregon's 3rd Congressional District. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And tonight, I defy Trump and his authoritarian project by standing in joyful, radical, peaceful resistance with the Portland Frog Brigade.
What the is this?
Now,
okay.
I almost cringed my contact lens out. That was
I
rough.
wondered. Let me give a little explanation here. I'll go back to you guys, but I wondered why, if the event is to protest the swamp, why would you have swamp creatures as attendees? And so I read the story. Miles Taylor, who's the Trump staffer who wrote that anonymous op-ed for the New York Times back in the first Trump term, he actually is the organizer of this group and the State of the Swamp event. And he said, well, who better to help us navigate the swamp than a creature born in the swamp, the frogs? Right. Well, who better to lead a tour through the prison than the prisoners? But does that mean that they're wise or intelligent?
Lord.
Just a bizarre philosophy in addition to the display. But sorry to cut you guys off. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I have no words. I don't even know how to interface with what I just saw. There was no actual argument provided there. It was just histrionics and platitudes and really weird visuals. Like that is what the Democrats have. Okay, maybe we're not screwed in the.
They're all show, and the show sucks bad.
The show sucks.
I can't help but think that we oftentimes think when it comes to modern political problems, what would the founders think about this? And my initial reaction to all of this is the founders wouldn't have a chip in their brain for this. If they saw this, they'd just open fucking fire.
Mm-hmm. Actually, they'll give them all, instead of the frog costume, they'll give them the Big Bird costume instead.
Yeah, bring back the Big Bird costume. Mm-hmm. All right, I got about 10 minutes till the top of the hour, and I got two things I want to get through, but so I'll have to move quickly. Go ahead.
So real quick, is Alex Jones officially off the hook, because those are definitely gay frogs?
Oh.
Yes, he is. He was right all along.
Yeah, he's validated. You're right.
I'm sorry I ever doubted that man.
They did
Still
turn the
crazy as
friggin'
fuck,
frogs gay. That's confirmed. Okay. This is not an N-word incident, but it's very close for California Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, Gavin Newsom is still your front runner to become the Democrat nominee for president in 2028, although he's losing a little bit of ground in the poly market odds here. But still, he's at 26% to AOC's 10%. Odds are, according to the betting market, Gavin Newsom is your guy to run for the Democrats coming up in 2028. So on Sunday night, Gavin was on stage with Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens to promote Gavin's upcoming book, which is called Young Man in a Hurry. And Gavin said, paraphrase, "How do you do, fellow blacks? You know, I'm something of a stupid person myself."
I'm not, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
Okay.
That nervous laugh. You know what puzzles me? Right. First of all, half the niggas in there don't even know what 960 means on the SAT because they never
Probably
took
not.
one.
I had to look it up. I never took the SAT. I only took the ACT. But
We're
I
too
assume he
busy-
meant like mediocre score. Yeah.
Yeah, half the niggas there are too busy shooting up each other, smoking weed, and getting money. All right.
But even in his example, he still put himself better than the 940. Like he still thought of himself as better than the other people. Like,
But I'm not better than you, let me assure you.
Yeah.
God,
but I'm not trying to offend anybody who's lesser.
Now, I think that was a pretty good gaffe. I would still score it well below the greatest of all time, or at least certainly recent history, Tim Walz.
I've become friends with school shooters.
So what if we could get Tim Walz to once again run as the running mate for the Democrat nominee? Together, they could be black-like retarded friends of school shooters 2028. There's a better, more elegant campaign slogan in there, but Tim Walz plus Gavin Newsom will be highly entertaining. And
No, they need to be primary opponents.
I'm a mother.
They need to argue against each other.
Well, this primary is going to be highly entertaining. It's going to rival 2019, 2020. This is going to be great. But Gavin Newsom did. he was practically reading the script from the Steve Martin movie, The Jerk, which we did a movie review way back when. But the other Stephen Miller observed this point. He was basically reading from the intro of that movie.
I'm not.
Whoops. Where's my clip here? It's this one.
My story? It was never easy for me. I was born a poor black child.
The Gavin Newsom book. I was born a poor black child. With
apparently
a
a poor dumb black child. This isn't even the first time he's tried this pander, because you remember the whole thing that he had what was it, just a couple months ago, where he was talking about like playing basketball by himself and tell it, like his mom had to tell him to come home because his dad wasn't always around. Like
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
But you know what? Even with this, he doesn't reach the level of the best black pandering moment that has ever been.
Hot
So even
sauce.
in this, he fails. No. There's one better. I don't feel no ways tired. Do you remember that shit?
I don't even remember that one. What was that one?
Hillary
Clinton desperately trying to be a black preacher while being the whitest thing in like 400 miles.
Hillary Clinton out hot sauce the hot sauce. I haven't heard that one. Okay.
You've never.
She claimed that she carried hot sauce around with her all the time.
Oh no, I remember that one. I'm just saying that
ethnic
one's
people.
the hot sauce one isn't even the pinnacle of her pandering. There's one beyond it, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my thing is that black folks can look at this insult that's basically being levied towards them and not give a crap. But I guarantee you, if a Republican say that, they would, excuse my words here, they'll go ape shit, won't they?
They would rent apes. Like Al Green.
They'll rent those apes to go ballistic on there.
Speaking of the outrage, I just wanted. So yeah, they would. Well, yeah, it would either be ape shit or they would berserk out. You're right. I wanted to talk about Gavin Newsom's reaction because he has not apologized. But Sean Hannity tweeted about that exchange, and Gavin Newsom responded, "You don't give a shit about the president of the United States posting an ape video of President Obama or calling African nations shitholes, but you're going to call me."
I don't care.
You're going to call me racist for talking about my lifelong struggle with dyslexia. Spare me your fake fucking outrage, Sean. Okay.
Wait, so did you write the book or did somebody write it for you? I bet a black person wrote it for him.
Maybe, yeah.
Aside from the points he wrote it, and then somebody else just went through and swapped out every other word.
Okay.
Aside from the points on the ape meme and the African nations shitholes commentary, this logic works both ways. That is to say, okay, Sean Hannity wasn't outraged about those, but you were, and you think those things are wrong. So why is it fine to sit in front of a crowd or an audience of black people and say, you know, I'm something of a retarded N myself? I need the explanation for why outrage in the Al Green ape context was appropriate, but not here. Anyway,
the hair is the same. It's perfect.
Well, was this. Did they edit the Gavin hair on, or is that the way the meme is originally? I can't even remember.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. Either or. Yeah, it's interchangeable.
Okay, I couldn't see it because it's blurry. I just realized there was the N-word in there.
Yeah, it was the hard. Yeah, 2 G's, hard R. I had to censor it myself. Yeah. Okay. I got a couple minutes here, and I certainly want to get Batman's perspective on this story because it's not too far from either one of us actually. But this story not talked about a lot this week. Another episode of Rainbow Person terrorism. On Monday, Sarah Elizabeth George, who's a 43-year-old woman from Boise, Idaho, was arrested for stealing an ambulance and driving into a DHS office building. This is an office building that leases space to DHS and ICE and another federal agency. The attack actually happened this time last week, the 18th. Here's the police chief of Meridian, Idaho, a Boise suburb, describing what happened.
Late Wednesday, February 18th, 2026, Canyon County paramedics had an ambulance stolen from St. Luke's Meridian. The suspect took that ambulance and drove it into the Portico North building, where they had also staged cans of gasoline and poured gasoline inside of the ambulance as well as on the floor outside of the ambulance in what we believe was an attempt to burn the building. Well, today I'm glad to announce that we have made an arrest of Sarah Elizabeth George, a 43-year-old female of Boise, Idaho.
Okay, my first question for you, Batman. Who had a rougher photo? Was it Nancy Pelosi or this woman?
Nancy Pelosi, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, this woman at least just looks like an alien, not a corpse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's put some quotes around that woman there.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, so are we sure this is a lady?
That's a liberal use of the word woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liberal in many ways, apparently, because her whole social media profile is just rainbow nonsense. And she had
exposure to the fag flag seems to change people like radioactively.
Well, this is a couple of her posts were hilarious to me. One, this apparently from the last Pride Month, so sometime around May or June last year. Pride Month is coming up. Pride Month is coming up. So instead of giving your money to big corporations slapping rainbows on everything, give your money to me, a gay, directly.
One of them gays.
I'm a gay. Cut me a check.
That's a quality grift right there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of respect that.
I'm not going to pay you, but it is honest. I'll give you that.
It is.
And then there's another one. You guys can't really see it here. It's the blue one on the bottom. It's too hard to read, but I'll read it to you. It depresses the hell out of me that people I grew up with or am related to have turned into people that I wouldn't tell where Anne Frank was hiding. So again, the premise being that everyone around you has changed into a bad person. It couldn't possibly be you who has changed into this thing. No. But
could I be out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
But she went from a 43-year-old hopeless lesbian to now a potential 20-year prison sentence. So things are looking up for her. Life is about to get a lot better when she hits the federal prison here soon. But there is a little bit of information.
She already looks happy about it.
Yeah. She knows that she's going to find a girlfriend in there real quick. So
some details on how it happened. So she actually posted last Wednesday morning this image of the White House burning down in her caption, "If it can be destroyed by the truth, then it should be destroyed. It was built on lies anyway." No comment on, I guess, what sort of truth built this life for her. Yeah. But for reasons we can all infer by her social media and based on the lifestyle it looks like she led, she went down to Walmart, she bought some gas cans, she went to the Fred Meyer, she bought some gas, she loaded it up. She went, I don't understand the point of the ambulance other than maybe it drove into the building more efficiently, but she stole an ambulance from a nearby hospital or medical clinic of some kind.
They just leave those unlocked?
And it was like they brought a patient in. She did it while they brought a patient into the facility. It was about 11 at night. She drives down to this building, this office building. She rams the car in through the door and starts dumping these gas cans all over the floor. Police arrive. They chase her away. She never actually lights the fire. But it does seem to me like the ambulance theft is an unnecessary part of this plot. Like it's an unnecessary complication. Just do like the Uzbek guy does and rent a truck from Home Depot, you weirdo. Why would you complicate it by stealing an ambulance? I don't understand her plot there.
Or, go big or go home. Steal a semi rig like the Joker did.
Yeah. You
or an armored car.
You maybe pull suck deep out of there.
That would have been the impressive thing if you were able to get an armored car.
She were able to borrow an armored vehicle. Yes.
By the way, Batman, did you see there's another suck deep? A suck deep killed a guy in Indiana last week. Another suck deep sing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They're everywhere. Anyway.
Well, they all have the same name. They're like Macedonians, but more retarded.
Well, it's easier for the California DMV to just rubber stamp them when they all have the same name.
They probably do have.
You can just use the same
application. We've already
application.
interviewed this guy like 40 times.
Yeah.
You could just use the same application over and over and over and just grant an unlimited number of licenses.
So
every time I drive next to a semi, I fear that there's a Pajit behind it.
There might be a suck deep. Yeah, you gotta stay away from that on the highway. But more rainbow terrorism to be explained away, even though by my count, we've had an episode of rainbow terrorism. I know that one was in Canada, but that's close enough. We've had an episode of rainbow terrorism once a week for the last 3 weeks now. So thankfully this lady just was bad at it and didn't successfully burn down the building. But are people talking about this one in Idaho, Batman, or is it just kind of...
Actually not really. Not where I am anyway, but we're a little far away from Boise here.
Yeah.
And it's considered to be sort of the undesirable place to people around here.
Because people like that live there.
Yes. Precisely.
All right. We need to hop in to take some calls here, but before we do, I'm going to unmute my mic. Number one, and you guys have to get into the call room there. So while I give you guys a second, why don't I just do the plug? Hey, have you considered joining the MC Club? Well, you should. Here's why. Hey, if you enjoy the show, please consider supporting the show by becoming a member of the MC Club. For as little as $1 a month, you will enjoy a series of exclusive perks, including ad-free videos and podcasts, video calls, and a community Discord server with me and other listeners, loot box giveaways with channel merchandise, your name in the credit roll after videos and streams, and much more. But most importantly, you will help keep the duct tape production alive and independent from all those sinister forces of control. Join the MC Club at mattchristiansenmedia.com/support. Linked in the description. Okay, everybody all set?
Yes, I should be good to go.
Okay. We got a new caller up first, and that is Sam. Sam, are you there?
Hello, Sam.
Sam.
Hey, Matt. Sam.
There we go.
Beautiful state of Oregon.
Hello.
Oh, well, what part of Oregon?
The capital.
I can't
Salem.
hear him.
Salem. Oh, you guys can't hear him? All right.
I can
hear him.
Oh,
I
it's just a
can't.
You don't want
Joshy
to hear what I
problem.
have to say
All right.
anyway.
Sorry, we got kind of like a crowd of people here, and the tech problems are what they are. But okay, you're in Salem, Oregon. I took the LSAT in Salem, Oregon way back in the day, and I got a Gavin Newsom score and never became a lawyer. So that's my Salem, Oregon story for you.
Well, all you need is the hair.
I could use anybody's hair.
It's showing
Gavin
just
Newsom's.
how far you can go with it.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Anyway.
wind up in Congress at any point, you'll have plenty of toupees to choose from.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyway,
it's really sad.
what do you
I'm
got
in Salem
for us?
now. I grew up in Salem, but I actually lived in Portland for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
My
And
condolences.
I escaped basically at the height of Black Lives Matter rioting that went on. I was so uncertain on how things were actually going downtown that I actually
Oh, there we go.
went there myself to view what was going on with the riots. And that was part of the turning point of what turned me into a Republican. Was I saw that the protesters there were there as agitators, and they were totally just like riling up the authorities there. And that really changed my mind about how the left operated. But that's not why I'm calling. I just wanted to kind of give you my story about how I
sure.
escaped Portland and came back to my hometown of Salem about 5 years now.
Oh, just to be sure, just to be clear, I can't hear you now. I had to change my settings again.
Okay.
Good, Josh.
Well,
Boy. It is
that
all
way-
about you. So
Yes, it is. It's all
What?
about me.
Let's let Sam have the rest of his time here, though. So what was the secondary point you wanted to make, or the primary, whichever it was?
Well, I've got a few points. I kind of made some notes here that I wanted to kind of run by you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that from the State of the Union address last night that Democrats will use the clip of them sitting during the big moment? Do you think they'll use that as a highlight point?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's
They're
why
proud
they
of
did
that.
it. Yes.
Like they actually think that they won by staying seated
Yes.
Yeah.
during that big moment.
Yes.
Freaking crazy. Blows my mind.
Because Trump is Hitler, so they remained seated while Hitler was talking.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't
How about-
matter if it so happens that they were in fact disrespecting like the mother of Irina Zarutska, the gal who was murdered in Charlotte, or literal war heroes from not just current conflicts that Trump presided over, but also, of course, the Korean War, decades and decades ago. So during a much less contentious period of armed conflict in American history. It didn't matter to them because beat boop orange man bad. That's all they can think about.
And their supporters will be their supporters are the same way. They'll consider the Democrats there defying Trump to be a victory as well. So that's why it won't really ultimately change anything.
Yeah. So both sides activated their base. So that's what I was saying earlier.
It is an interesting mirror effect like that.
Yeah, this was just red meat to both sides. So the MAGA people get to cheer because Trump called them out specifically, set all these traps to.
It was very funny.
That he knew. Yeah, it was very good performance on his part. But then the Democrats, in their defiance, are going to be able to use that during their runs for the primaries as well. So
And we're very faggy.
This fed both sides. So everybody.
It's also interesting how the decorum has changed with the political events like this. We saw the pin with the fuck ICE on there, and this is like a nationally broadcast event.
Oh, members of Congress were wearing that? I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
They didn't even. It was straight up FUCK, no star, no censorship. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Right next, the woman sitting next to Ilhan Omar was wearing that pin, so she got a lot of screen time with it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know if that was strategic that they chose to sit together so that they could get that on screen. Surely Omar knew she was going to be on camera that night.
Well, she did her she did her absolute damnedest to be on camera, screaming as she was from her seat.
Yeah, she did that
and
too.
You've got Al Green with his stupid banners, and you've got you showed the still image of the lady doing the middle finger. And this is stuff that just influences the actions of their voter base.
Were you before we let you go? What was your position prior? Were you a Democrat, or before you changed your mind around 2020? What were your politics prior?
I did not vote for Trump during his first election. The collapse of the border during Biden, that was when I flipped.
So you voted Democrat previously, though?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I've been a lifelong Democrat voter all the way back to when George W. took office.
Did you vote Biden in 2020?
I did.
Did you vote Biden 10 times through various mail-in ballots?
Yeah, being in Oregon, I suppose I could have done that.
That's true. You guys, you guys invented it, or you were like
how many names
pioneers
and
of it.
or addresses do you have?
Okay.
Funny story about
how many
that.
of them
Actually,
are PO boxes and storage rooms?
I just wanted to remind you guys that Oregon is only a blue state by population. Like as a whole, Oregon is a red state.
Yeah,
It's just
geographically, it's
overwhelmed.
Portland and everywhere else.
Pretty much.
Portland and
Don't forget
Eugene,
about
actually.
Eugene. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's Portland and Eugene. Salem, the capital of Oregon, is in Marion County, and Trump won the popular vote in Marion County, where the capital of Salem is.
Well,
so that should be, this is my home turf in Salem right here.
I really appreciate you calling in, just because we were talking earlier, like, who are these people who are still changing their minds? And I know you're not changing your mind yesterday. It's a little bit behind us now.
Right.
But I do like to hear from people like you who remind me that you do still exist. People like us who are following politics every day. You forget that there are people who just don't follow it on a day-to-day basis or aren't as interested. And maybe you were, maybe you weren't. But the point is your mind changed relatively recently, and those minds are still available for persuasion. So I like to hear from you, and thanks for calling in.
Well, it was the non-mainstream media that made me question what was going on during BLM and made me want to go to the heart of Portland to see what was really going on.
Yeah.
And once I saw with my own eyes how they were agitating at the courthouse there, at the ICE facility, it made it very clear that that's not representative of my values.
Yeah, it makes me sad, man. I had an internship down there on like 4th and Salmon way back in the day, and bright-eyed me used to love hanging out right down there by Pioneer Courthouse Square, And
one quick thing, just kind of end on a lighthearted note here. You guys were talking about that Hollywood Awards ceremony with the Tourette's guy. Do you think, like, similar to the Super Bowl streaker, he was betting on himself through Kalshi?
I didn't even hear that on the streaker, but yeah,
he absolutely should have.
Will someone yell the N at the BAFTAs? Yeah.
All the different stuff that you can bet on with Kalshi, that had to have been on there, right? All right, guys, take care.
Thanks for the call, Sam. Appreciate it.
You too, man.
Have a good one, man.
To his point about Oregon being having a lot of red territory, like even California, the majority of counties in California went to Trump in the 2024 election.
There are more Republican or conservative voters in California than any other state.
I don't know that that's true anymore.
Maybe not Texas.
That was true in Reagan's administration.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe in the 90s too. I think
it's still true, like relatively recently, if not like right now, but relatively recently.
I don't know. With the amount of red voters that have left California, I don't know that that's still.
Let's say pre-2020. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just guessing. Anyway, let's talk to Vong next. Vong, are you there? Vong.
Hello.
All right. Do you have some tears rather to bait?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. As I was about to say, I was hoping to talk to you guys about some interesting stuff regarding our legal tradition and the history of voting. But first, of course, standards must be maintained and traditions must, as always, be upheld. Chat? I drink your tears as always.
Shut up,
with that
faggot.
Yes. And the traditional response, of course. Now, that said, I came across some quite interesting stuff, came back across it quite recently. I found it a long time ago for the first time, but regarding the development of voting rights in our legal tradition, as in the legal tradition that America follows, which stretches back into England, that takes the history all the way back to 8605, actually, in how it explains the tying together of not only voting and military service, but also voting and paying taxes. And it's quite fascinating stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, this is obviously even before the Normans conquered England, when when Battle of Hastings and all that, long before that, and even long before the Magna Carta. But starting back in Anglo-Saxon England in 605 AD, the military service was imposed on every able-bodied free man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
this was essentially what we would call a militia. It was called the Fyrd back then.
Yeah.
FYRD, but it was a crime to not answer the call of the when the sheriff or alderman called out the Fyrd. But the punishment varied depending on one's status. That said, the Fyrd were free men, and this is a weird thing to understand in history, which is that serfs and free men were different because a free man owned his land himself, whereas a serf he might work the same size of land, which would be called a hide back then, but the serf worked land held in soakage by a noble, which that refers to that the noble lets serfs live on his land in exchange for them giving him certain amounts of the agricultural crop that they gathered every year. That's called soakage.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
we'll have to wrap this up. But if you have a broader point that ties it all together.
Yeah. Basically, that kind of pyramidal structure that I'm describing went up in further layers, upwards and onwards, all the way to the king, and the same kind of structure, right? The rendering of military service was included because the lords had to answer the call of the king to war.
Joshy can't leave. This is about monarchy. Where's he going?
This is his jam.
Yeah,
right.
Come on.
Vong, thank you for the call. I'm gonna have to let you go just because I'm a little tight on time, but I appreciate your thoughts. All right. Thank you.
That chair's moving on its own.
Now I don't know what's going on. This is paranormal activity.
Joshy's house is haunted. We just saw a ghost.
Well, that's where they filmed The Exorcist.
Okay, there we go. Joshy, I was going to say you can't leave. That was a monarchy call, and I'm not a great
I understand, but my
mind.
battery was about to die.
Oh, that's what that was. Do you have any thoughts on the monarchy points?
Other than bringing it back, but
that whole structure, that whole soakage structure is basically just property taxes now, which means we've been serfs for a long time.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, exactly the king, technically speaking, the king owns all of the land. He kind of distributes it to the noblemen and whatnot. It's technically all of his. Now, if noblemen grow powerful enough with their serfs or army or whatnot, they could rise up against them, as many have done. But other than that, that's the only thing I gotta say about that. It's technically all of his stuff because he did the conquering and all of this other.
I'm a little bit lost on the whole concept, so I'm just gonna.
I agree with that.
It is. He's going way back before pre-United England, so they had stuff like that.
As far as the history of suffrage and like the vote and the franchise, I am, and I've made this point on the show a number of times. I am actually in favor of limiting suffrage and the franchise a lot more than what we have turned it into. I think we have cheapened what it means to actually vote. Like we all know that taxation without representation is immoral, is bad. But what about representation without taxation? Isn't that also bad? Like, doesn't that also cheat the state? And
Ask Sukhdeep Singh.
I'm trying to think of like how that would even work. Representation without taxation.
So does that
exist?
Second point, the illegal immigrants.
Oh my God!
Yeah, of course it does.
Explain it to me because it's over my head. Give me a practical example.
You have between 30 and 40% of Americans.
I see what you're saying.
That have
clicked in my head.
They have no income tax burden and are also renters, so they don't have income tax.
You're saying
as well.
People
so
who are getting
they're just paying sales tax.
Yeah, the people who are getting the benefits of representation without contributing. Yeah, I see.
Yes. Okay. Their vote counts as much as the landowner who is being taxed 50% on their income as well. Like those two votes for some reason are equal, even though one of them is actually contributing to society, the other one is feeding off of it.
Yeah.
And this is why I said that the founders, when confronted with a situation like we have in the modern day, they wouldn't have a chip in their brain for it. I don't think they would understand how we got here and how we possibly let it get this far.
No, they'd have been stacking bodies 100 years ago. They'd been stacking bodies in the street 100
Well,
years
maybe
ago.
they wouldn't have to worry about this if George Washington just put a fucking crown on his head and declared himself king.
That
right?
son of a bitch surrendering power.
That motherfucker.
Worst president ever.
Okay, let's talk to Fwen. Fwen, are you there?
Hey, Fwen.
Yeah. Hello.
What do you got, sir?
Well, I've got to say I'm a little bummed that you guys all missed the opportunity in Gavin Newsom's clarification tweet when he's talking about his lifelong struggles, that he's not talking about a learning disability. He's talking about his tumultuous relationship with the lady that's for the streets, dyslexia.
Oh my god.
Thanks.
That would have flew over my head.
Yeah.
Dyslexia, like a bitch on the street, a hoe?
It could just be a total black name. Yeah, dyslexia.
No, that's too
I
white.
see.
No, that name is way too white. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what we call a stretch.
Remember, D stands for lysdexia.
It would be D. It'd be D apostrophe Lexia. Yeah. D-lexia.
Yes.
Exactly. There you go.
But yeah, I called in last week and I mostly talked about like Lenten practices and stuff, but I did want to, circle back to the previous week and your interview with Oren, and just kind of ask like how you thought that went, and also kind of with the specific question of like, did it raise any interest in like exploring some of these thinkers who try to take like a pre-Enlightenment political theory into their accounting of kind of Republican government?
Yeah, I first of all, he was very nice and he was on time, which I appreciate, so just from like a personability perspective, he was very cool in that regard. So I was pleased to meet him, and I'm bummed out that we had some technical problems both during the recording and then during the stream itself. I hate when I get guests like that I think are worthy, and then the stream gets messed up and there are problems with it. So other than those frustrations, as far as talking to him, I'll give you a little bit more time here. Don't worry. But as far as talking to him, I appreciated what he had to say about some of my questions left over from when Mark had brought him up about the nature of objective morality and what the Constitution actually serves or recognizes. And that was pretty clarifying for me, because I was worried that maybe he had some sort of like moral relativist perspective, and I clearly he doesn't. But I do take his point. I think a lot of the things he had to say were commentaries to the John Adams perspective. Our Constitution can serve a moral and religious people, but it's probably insufficient for anybody else. And that doesn't mean that the things it's trying to protect are false. It doesn't mean that they're untrue, but it does mean that you can't just apply this anywhere and expect it to succeed, because there are different variables in play. So I haven't consumed much of his content previously. And so discussing with him that day was most of my exposure to him, but I found him to be a really nice guy and a thoughtful guy. And so I hope we get to cooperate again in the future.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I know that this, there's a whole channel dedicated to this in the wonderful MC Club Discord for tips and suggestions, but, and you don't have to answer this, in any definitive way, but I think like having longer form interviews posted as videos, like pre-recorded, could be great, because it takes a while to unpack like some of the stuff that people in these spheres like that you can rub shoulders with. And I think there's some healthy cross-pollination, not only in terms of ideas but also like community building.
And it's my number one objective this year, and I thank you for being a part of that community and putting ideas in there. And as I recall, you were the guy who suggested Aron, right? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but Oren, right? Oren, not Aron. I always want to say it. It's Oren. So thank you for that. And I will say for people, I want to network. I do want to probably chop out guest segments as their own thing going forward, though that requires its own time and labor. And there's some other jobs I'm trying to figure out in terms of how to handle and organize. So all the things you're talking about are thoughts that are in my head. But I will say, man, I don't know what it is. getting people to respond to me, and then even if they do respond to me, to show up when they say they will, which Oren did, and I appreciate. It's like one of the hardest things about doing this, and I'm not trying to complain about the job because I love doing this job, but man, like wrangling people and getting people to participate is near impossible sometimes. So that's another reason I need suggestions from people is you just have to cast a wide net, because the reality is, like, probably out of 10 invitations I send out for people to come on the show or come on the stream, maybe one responds, and like half the time they show up. So it's just it's one thing I want to improve on in this coming year. It's just, man, it's such a tough piece of it. But part of it is the wide net, and you're right that I need contributions to identify the targets for the wide net.
Yeah, don't be discouraged. Keep at it, and
you just got to keep trying.
Have a good evening, fellas.
Thank you.
too,
Appreciate it, man.
Good night.
Good one.
Okay, you guys have any thoughts on Oren McIntyre or guest acquisition or anything like that?
I do agree with the longer form interviews, right? I do think you should post those as a separate thing.
Yeah, I if I can get them, well, it's one of those things I need to have somebody do for me, and I'm working on that. But it's possible to do. Yeah. Batman,
Bruce,
sorry.
What were you saying?
I actually didn't get the chance to watch that interview yet, so it's something I'm going to have to do.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and Matt Palumbo actually got him for me, so Matt sat in on that interview as well, and we just had a discussion with the three of us. But hopefully he'll be back sometime soon. Anyway, okay, that's going to do it on the calls. Appreciate our live callers. Thank you guys for calling in. We are going to catch up with some super chats here, and then we'll take voicemails and emails as well. But let's hop into super chats before we get into that. First up, let me refresh over on YouTube and Tippy. Okay, on YouTube, Injured Guardian's got a sequence of them here. There's literally an exchange traded fund on the New York Stock Exchange based on Pelosi's insider trading. Nance, she's proud of it. NANC. So I didn't even, somebody already like created this fund.
Oh man, everybody, you should hop on that immediately.
Yeah, invest in Nance. That's not advice. I'm just, for the memes, do it. Injured Guardian also says, Robin Williams, we need a positive Tourette's. Was that a Robin Williams bit? I don't know. I haven't consumed a lot of Robin Williams stuff, but did he have a bit on a positive Tourette's? You're very cool, and I like you a lot. Outbursts like that. You're doing great. We love you.
Nice shirt.
Yeah. All right. Also says it's just Portland and Eugene, and also Medford. I've barely been to Medford. I've driven through. My time in Southern Oregon is really minimal, but seems like a nice place to live if there aren't a lot of lunatics there.
I didn't know Portland wasn't the capital of Oregon. They talk about it so much, I just kind of assumed it was.
No, Portland, Salem is.
Yeah. I learned something new today.
Sorry, did I hear Portland? Never mind. Sorry, my
no, Portland. No,
yeah,
so
Salem's the capital. Portland's the biggest city.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the way we do it on the West Coast. Like actually, that's true for a lot of states. Is the big city is very rarely the capital.
Yeah, right, Helena here is a very small town.
Target. Yeah, because you don't want the biggest target to be the same place where all of your governmental business is conducted. It's a tactical thing.
Yeah.
Also says, Vong, are you there? No, Luke and Mara showed up. Okay, that one's over my head. Who the hell is that? Explain that to me.
Oh,
Star Wars,
I can explain that.
Well, I should know that.
So,
what?
Well, here's the thing.
That's an A. Yeah. That's an A+. All
right, well, honorary rim shot. But Luke and Mara. Why don't I know this? I know who Luke is in the Star Wars context.
This is from the books.
Let me explain it. Let me explain it. So yeah, it is. Yeah, this is from the books. Mara is the wife of Luke Skywalker, and
he had a wife.
Yeah.
Mara Jade.
Jedi can't marry. That's some Anakin Skywalker bullshit.
No, the new Jedi would allow that shit.
The new Jedi can. Mm-hmm. They're based as fuck.
I know. Okay. But basically, the Uzang Vong are a bunch of aliens from a different galaxy that theirs got destroyed from a droid war, and so they invaded the Star Wars galaxy and started cleaning everybody's clock out.
Also says only male property owners age 30 plus should vote. We do need restrictions. I know we've talked about this before, Skulldugger, but what about like a family type vote, or should it just be male property owners only? What do you think?
Yep.
Why not family?
Okay, it's fine. The family gets one vote, and it channels through the husband. Like, what do you want me to say?
Distinction without a difference. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The family gets one vote, and it's the man who shows up at the polls.
I'm most interested in the property owning component.
Wait a minute, hold
obviously.
on.
You need what?
The only reason why I would be against the family vote is that what if the family is retarded? Right? And the man needs to put his foot down.
What if the 30+ male property owner is retarded? It's about statistics, man.
See, you're making my case for monarchy.
So that's what I'm saying is the family gets one vote, and the head of the family is the father, the husband, and so it's his vote. So it factors out to be the same anyway.
So monarchy, gotcha.
All right, we all agree with injured guardian. Tim Hammond. I was a bit bummed. I had Trump inviting Tourette's guy to the State of the Union on my bingo card. I guess I hadn't thought of that. But is the guy actually, is he British or is he American, this Tourette's dude?
He's British.
He is British, okay. So there wouldn't really be any reason to bring him to State of the Union other than he said the N and pissed a lot of people off.
He is,
I think seat him right in the middle of the Democrats and just
I believe he is actually... I believe he's actually Scottish, which how you determine a Scottish person has Tourette's, I don't understand.
That makes things so much better.
As far as I'm concerned, every Scottish person I've ever met has Tourette's.
Especially when they're drunk.
Which is always.
Who drinks more, the Scottish or the Irish?
The Scottish. Absolutely the Scottish.
Tim says, I can't believe you guys are dismissing the very real struggle that Gavin Newsom has had with dyslexia. Because of that, poor Gavin has sold his soul to a jolly fat guy who wears a red suit and owns a reindeer. Have some fucking compassion. I don't even get the Oh, so, I see. Sold his soul to Santa, not Satan. That was a deep cut. All right.
Because of the dyslexia, if you didn't get the joke.
Yes. Over on Rumble, and then we'll get into
that rim shot again. You explained it, so
voicemails and emails. Newbie of Death says value. Well, thank you, Newbie. Appreciate your contributions as always. Booking Track Groves. He says Batman is going too hard. Batman is always crashing out and yelling at people and accusatory. Joshy Boy should watch Homo Nick, since you two like Bad Bunny. Well, I guess Skulldugger escaped the criticism. Anyway,
I don't know who that is.
A book Track Grooves. I don't know. You have to go defend your honor with him. He's taking shots.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah,
sorry, man.
He's my favorite community member. That's who he is.
All right. Well, he gave Skulldugger a pass. Laughing Boy. Yes, lots of people with Tourette's know they are going to blurt out a word. They end up thinking of the word that they could blurt out, and it actually causes them to blurt out that specific word.
Yes.
I'm not sure a good source for living with Tourette's is Balin Dupree. I'm not sure. Period. A good source for living with Tourette's is Balin Dupree. She was on Dr. Phil a few years ago. So some support for what you were saying about how the thought gets stuck in your head and then it just materializes.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
rough. It's the same thought process that we all have, but we have a filter that a person with Tourette's might not have that filter.
Yeah.
Instead their brain does the exact opposite. Instead of filtering it out, it pushes it forward.
It just makes it even funnier though, because that's exactly what that guy was thinking.
That's what everybody's thinking
goodness.
when you see a black person. That's the human thing. Is when you see a black person, the common thing is like, I can't call them an N-word. That's the thing I can't say. You can't say N-word. It's a black person. They're very sensitive.
More common, and that's even more common now that it's been made such a huge fucking deal in the last couple decades.
It's the worst curse word out there because it's the only one that maintains the letter hyphen word status regardless of who you are. Like nobody will approach this word. Like people who will say faggot, midget, chink. Like you can say all these things and like you don't have to filter. But you gotta say N-word. You can't say the actual word because
I'm guilty
of it myself. I do exactly what you just said. 100%.
I gotta say the only reason that I don't say it outright is because Matt asked me not to.
Did I actually explicitly ask you? I don't remember. Did I say no hard RNs? Maybe.
And I know I might
because I absolutely said it when we were talking about how to put the show together after the restructuring, shall we say?
Oh, you can't say that word either. Yeah, that's not allowed.
Yeah, I can't. I wish I could say it because I'm black myself. I should get a free pass, but sometimes saying nigga just kind of ruins it a little bit.
No, it doesn't.
Dude,
I love
you are
Kinnick.
black, and black people all over YouTube say it all the time. I don't know why you hold yourself back.
Yeah, but this is a panel. Well, we got a half Asian, but we got 2 white people right there. We gotta respect the game.
Yeah, you don't.
What you're saying is there may be a
sensibilities.
chink in the armor we can use.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that one.
Just circle back.
But
with
he
you.
can say it because he's part chink.
That's true. All right. I'm going to stop chat there.
I'll have to just circle back with you.
We will come back to them if we have more chats at the end of the show. We got some voicemails. I got a text message, or one voicemail and a text message. We got some emails to get through too before we're out of here. So let's start with that voicemail. Concerned non-citizen has a call about what he is calling reverse or anti-tautologies.
Hey, Matt. Concerned non-citizen here. Just had a conversation with my wife over dinner, and something came up regarding a tautology, a statement that is technically true but conveys no information. One example is X equals X. I quipped, off the top of my head that the statement that trans women are women is like an anti-tautology because it's false and still conveys no information. Just thought I'd call that in. Thanks.
It's a very interesting concept. Something that is meaningless and false sounds like a contradiction.
It does kind of convey some information, though. It conveys more information than what the left's definition of a woman is. So their tautology of a woman is anybody who identifies as a woman. That's a tautology because you haven't actually conveyed any information, and that is a meaningless statement. At least when you say trans women are women, you are. I can actually glean from that. I can deduce from that this is somebody who is born male and is identifying as a female. So it is actually conveying some information, which would. I mean, I get his point as it being an anti-tautology. It is still not making a point. And so it is still a pointless. It's a pointless statement, but it does have information. There is information that you can deduce from the statement, but that the deduction doesn't lead anywhere. It is still you're still left in a dead end. It's still a null statement. So I get what he's saying.
It actually provides plenty of information because when you hear somebody say that, you can just translate it to "I am a lunatic."
Yeah, Joshy, do you have a thought? I wanted to say something about this, but go ahead.
Well, no, Skulldugger pretty much covered it for me. Okay. So thank
you. I was thinking about, so even if that's not the perfect one, that is an anti-tautology that is false and meaningless. I'm fascinated by this idea that something is meaningless and false, if that's even possible. But another one I thought they're stupid sayings, they're slogans that they have. Love is love, though, which is, would you say that's a tautology, or is that not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it would.
The thing, the way that's meaningless is it's X is X in the way he's describing, but it's also false in that it denies the sign tapping principle that not all love is love, or they're not all the same thing. The love between a man and a woman is the one that is capable of producing new life, which separates it in terms of the way we treat it socially. So, is love meaningless and false?
Well, love is a false equivalency. When they say love is love, they mean marriage is marriage. They're equating love and marriage. So like under a lot of the principled people who are opposed to same-sex marriage, they are okay with you loving whoever you love. But
they're not though. They still have lines.
I don't know that that's true. I think
do.
it. So
they'd
I
say
think
no
that,
kids. They'd say no incest, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
you'll be surprised at how many.
So I mean,
as
it pertains to, we'll just leave it as it pertains to same-sex attraction. So you are welcome to love whoever you are attracted to. We would just prefer that you didn't marry them because it dilutes and degrades the station of marriage and what marriage is supposed to represent in society. Yeah. You're making a mockery of something that is actually bedrock and foundational to how society works in the first place. And so like when you say like the love is loves, therefore anybody should be able to marry anybody. That's like the conclusion down the line from the love is love. So love is love is a tautology, but it does have a connotation. There's a suggestion. It's code for something else.
Yeah. Well, insofar as these maybe exist, these reverse or anti-tautologies, maybe they don't exist perfectly in the way you're describing, Skulldugger, but I think he's on to something. I think it's an interesting concept. I just was wondering what would I brand it as? Because anti-tautology is a very awkward thing to call it, or reverse tautology, and nobody knows what the hell that means. So we need a catchy way to describe that thing.
Loosology. It's not taught.
What did you say? Loose or goose?
I said loosology.
Loosology. Oh, that's okay. That's layered.
Slackology.
Slackology. Perfect.
Slackology. Okay, that's better.
Or you can just call it what we have always called it for a very long time: retarded.
Yep.
The R word. This is shameful.
All right, we'll go with that. That's good branding. Okay, let's get into some emails here. I forgot to remind everyone, but I actually have a text message here too. If you'd like to send a voicemail, email, text message to the show, use the contact page on my website. MattChristiansenMedia.com/contact is where you submit those. Got a text message here that came in a little bit ago. The streaker at the Super Bowl was Alex G. He's a millionaire day trader with a big following on YouTube. Okay, I did not see the streaker at the Super Bowl because I was doing other stuff for the stream. So I didn't see it when it happened. And I certainly didn't know that the guy had apparently bet money on it or bet on himself to do it, which is, of course, a big problem for the integrity of the betting market. But okay. Did you guys see the Super Bowl streaker at all?
I did not, surprisingly, even though
I heard. I didn't see it. I think apparently it never made it on camera from my understanding. It was.
Yeah, I think that's why I never saw it.
I was browsing because as I've mentioned before, the one thing I like to bet on is the Super Bowl and all the crazy weird bets you can bet on. And I noticed this year they had not just will there be a streaker, but what will the streaker's gender be? And non-binary was an option. And the payout was just too small for me to consider taking it. But the streaker question was correct. It's just if that guy had if he had streaked, if he had struck, and also claimed gender ambiguity while doing it, there was a bigger payday to be had. Should have done it. Anyway. Okay, let's hop into the email inbox here. We have a few to get through. Wired West is first up. Hey, Matt and esteemed guests. You guys are all highly regarded this evening.
Well,
I have a theory that I'd like to get your take on regarding higher rates of violence among whites in America than Europe. I think it's true, as in that's happening because we're a settler society. In Europe, they spent the last 1,000 years killing off anyone who so much as stole a horse and obeying kings. But anyway, they stole horses, they got killed. That's what he's saying. And they've done that. They did that for 1,000 years. We spent 250 needing to use violence to survive against wilderness, Indian raids, and if we wanted to kill a horse thief, we'd have to round up the posse. Thoughts? Okay. This is related to the discussion that we've had over the last few weeks about whether the white violent crime rate in America may be higher than the white violent crime rate in Europe, if that's true. But for the purposes of this discussion, assume that's true. The prior explanations we've talked about are guns, which I don't believe, or there's lumping of Hispanics into white crime statistics, which often happens. I don't think this theory. Oh yeah,
I can be Sierra Leone black these days and be called a white man.
Yeah, pretty much. That's true. It might be a lot of people from the Leering Center in the white crime statistics, you know. But I don't think this theory is crazy.
I would need some clarification. Is this data based off of like actual conviction of crime data, or is this off of reported crime?
Just for the purposes of his
difference there.
Yeah, for the purposes of his hypothetical, just assume that it is correct that there is a higher white violent crime rate in America than in Europe, which I think is a big assumption and I actually don't take as true. But just let's say it's true and theorize about why for the purposes of the thought exercise. Now, I don't think this theory is crazy if you assume those premises, but I do have a problem with it, and that is that a huge portion of the American white population today doesn't date back to, say, the founding or the settlement of the West pre-Civil War, even closely after the Civil War. Like my family, for example, came from Denmark and Germany in the late 1800s mostly, and
that's true of most. The majority of the population of the United States came here after the Civil War.
So a lot of that like frontier spirit, I think, was kind of dead by then, or the West had already been won. And again, this is entertaining a hypothetical that I'm not sure is correct. And I'll have to find some information on this. I know Ann Coulter has previously spoken about this. That is to say, if you control all the variables, you're controlling for age, you're controlling for ethnicity in a way that doesn't include the Leering Center, that the murder rate or the violent crime rate in the United States among the white population is very comparable to European countries. This is an old piece in Talking Points memo from 2013, but Ann Coulter's point was that the murder rate among the white population in the United States is the same as it is in Belgium. And I don't have the data handy here, and of course it's been a decade since then, but I'm sure there's probably some truth to that. So to the point you were making, Skulldugger, I still dispute this premise, but if we're going to operate within this premise, you guys have the floor.
Well, I mean, generally, I'm of the opinion that the reported statistics that we see, and I know that's not exactly what we're talking about here, but they're inflated because the people who have been responsible for reporting this data to us for the last several decades have hated white people, right? So they're not going to be giving you accurate data, and they're going to make white people seem more violent than they actually are. Now, having said that, is there going to be violence amongst white populations? Yes, of course. That's human nature. There's always going to be conflict, and there's always going to be that one person who can't control themselves, and violence will spring up. That said, is there a reason why Americans might be more prone to violence than Europeans? I can kind of buy the theory, because we have a culture that more idolizes warriors than Europe does anymore. Being a good European citizen means bending over and taking it from the nearest Muslim. Whereas I think most Americans find that idea abhorrent and would rather respond with a torrent of lead.
Outside of Minneapolis, at least. They do a lot of the bending over for the Muslims in certain locales.
I agree to an extent that we would rather not bend over to the infidels, where we sure are getting bent over by our current government, and they're not really eating lead on that end.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Do you have any thoughts to add, Skulldugger?
I mean, not really. I mean, I'm struggling to assume a premise that I don't necessarily agree with, just based off of how loose the data is. Like
how untaught.
Yeah. how slack-tarded the data might be.
Yeah.
So I'm really struggling with this one. So if I were to assume that the premise is true and that Americans are uniquely criminally prone, then there are a number of things, as he has highlighted in the email, that there was a difference in the way that the westward expansion in the United States occurred than what we see in traditional European migration and expansions. It happened on a extremely accelerated scale in the United States, whereas in other places in the world, the amount of distance that was settled would have taken generations. In the United States, we did it in a matter of decades.
Yeah.
We basically sprinted across a massive continent, and it was a brutal process of actually settling the United States. So we had to fight for our independence, and we had to fight for most of the land that we currently hold. And so
against armies, against indigenous psychos, and against against nature itself.
Right. So there, there is this spirit of having to quarrel in order to gain anything, and so in some sense, it's not really been that long, especially if you're talking about some of the westward expansion. This is a very young country, and so maybe we just haven't worked out some of the kinks. And so, yeah, maybe we are a little bit more prone to violence, but we have had to fight for literally everything that we have. Every freedom we have, every inch of land we have, we've had to fight for. So that spirit is probably, it probably takes some time to dilute.
All right. Thank you to Wired West on that one.
That was
Next
pretty
up,
much what I was trying to say earlier, to be honest.
Next up is Super Straight Nate. I saw a post from a progressive influencer that said, quote, "Life's hard, but at least I'm not dumb enough to blame immigrants for all my problems." I thought that this was mostly a straw man, although there are some right-wing commentators who have made an interesting case that the kind of immigration we've had for the past 60 years has been the single most damaging thing for the United States. Do you think that this is a defensible position? Do you think the original post about people blaming immigrants for all their problems is a straw man? I do think that that is a straw man for two reasons. Number one, most of the people who are anti-immigration, whether it's anti-illegal immigration or they just want a moratorium on immigration totally, they're not, generally speaking, lazy scapegoaters. They, for the most part, I believe, are hard workers who are seeing every aspect of their lives undercut by people who cut the line to get into or invade the country. And the second reason why I think it's a straw man is because those problems are very real. Illegal immigration undercuts the value of the American worker, the value of your labor. That's a real problem. Illegal immigrants will always take less for the work. It's going to reduce the value of your work. Often they work for illegal wages under the table, which is a price you can't even match if you want to comply with the law. They consume housing, which makes it harder for the American worker to find that housing. They're going to consume a lot of resources. Oftentimes, there are public resources, public benefits consumed, which of course becomes a tax burden for the American worker as well. So the people making these complaints, I don't think that they're complainers by nature. That is to say, if their dream was realized and every deserving illegal immigrant was deported tomorrow, would they be sitting on the couch being lazy and complaining tomorrow? I really don't think they would. I think they are hardworking people who have a valid grievance about an immigration policy that has screwed them over. So, yeah, it's
maybe they'd be out picking strawberries.
Well, they would for the right price. You know, the jobs Americans won't do. Well, everyone will do a job at the right price.
Yeah. One of my issues with the straw man statement also is that it is not distinguishing between legal and illegal immigration. It's just saying immigration. So it's just saying it is just literally lumping everybody that comes from the outside of the country into the interior of the country and saying
they do that frequently, though.
Yeah,
they like the fact that they like blurring that line.
There's an important there is an
Yeah.
important distinction, though, in that
of course there
legal immigrants have a actual verifiable, measurable effect on the economy. We can actually look at it at what it costs to bring them here, what it costs to process them, and what benefit they are bringing in as it pertains to taxes, as it pertains to income, as it pertains to like all these things. We don't have that information on undocumented illegal immigrants. We don't have the documentation. They are undocumented, so we do not have this documentation. If they are paying taxes, which the left continues to assure us that they are, it is through fraud. They cannot legally be paying income tax. They would have had to have committed some sort of Social Security fraud in order to even be in the position to be paying taxes. And so even that information is muddled as well. So we just can't measure the effect of illegal immigration. And so that just has to be counted in the negative because it's an unknown, and it costs money regardless of what they are doing in the interior of the country. the fact that we have to investigate their presence here. If they go through the court system, all of that costs money that a lot of the times they're not paying. We're just floating these costs, and they are collecting benefits from the government. So we are putting money out, and we have no way of measuring the money back into the system. So that can't be viewed as a positive because there's no data to support it.
So not a straw man then.
It is and it isn't. It's a straw man due to lack of distinction. So
one thing that I would like to add, and when you're done, Skulldugger.
I was just going to say, we have put ourselves in a position where we need immigrants. So we do need immigration in this country because we are not reproducing at the rate that we need to in order to keep up the outrageous amount that this country spends. So because we spend so much,
why isn't the solution have more kids though? Why do we have to import?
It is the solution, but we're not doing it. That's the problem. Is we haven't kept up the birth
the solution
rate.
isn't immigration; it's incentivize people to have kids.
Well, but one of the things that I want.
But how are you going to do that? We've been trying to do that for generations now, and it's just not working.
Instead, we have lesbians trying to burn down buildings in Boise.
And taking out 5 kids at once off a cliff.
The current situation that we are in is the last generation that actually met exceeded the birth rate, the replacement rate, was the baby boomers. They were the last ones to actually do it, and they are all retiring. That's the situation that we are currently in. We just don't have the human bodies in the country that we need in order to man a workforce and produce the amount of income tax that is required to foot the bill for everything that we spend. And
Stop producing the income tax.
We need bodies from outside, but it needs to be in a way that we can actually document and keep track of. So illegal immigration is a net negative. Legal immigration can be viewed as a net positive. So there's aspects of the statement that are straw manny, and then there's aspects of the statement that are not straw manny.
So sufficiently taut or loose? I'm confused.
Loose. That's it's some slack tardation.
Joshy, you
Paris Hilton loose.
All right. So
wow.
Jeez.
Josh, you have a thought?
Real quickly, it's not just the economic thing, it's also the religious and cultural thing. If you keep bringing in illegal immigrants, and take what's happening in the UK, for example, they went from Christian to secular to now they're basically Muslim at this point. So if you keep having illegal immigration, that was
through legal immigration.
You talking about from the UK?
Yeah, they brought those people in legally. That was through legal immigration. The Muslim sort of takeover of London, conquering of London happened legally.
Yeah, that's even worse then. But it does inspire for a cultural shift because more and more people are speaking Spanish, and more people are bringing other stuff. We got the Somalis up in Minnesota. We have a Muslim communist right now. So it doesn't just affect economics; it also affects religion and culture. We used to be a predominantly Christian nation. We moved. We're currently, I would say, we're more secular than we are Christian nowadays. Who knows what we'll be in the next 100 years or so?
We are trending more towards the God-fearing, though. The current youngsters are more likely to believe in God than their parents.
Yeah, that particular trend is turning around.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good looking on the inside. I would just go a lot deeper than that. It says, okay, the why part, the motive part, right? We do have a lot of nominal Christians who wear the label for specific reasons, but don't actually keep hold to the practice. Does that make sense?
True. Would not argue.
Thank you to Super Straight Nate on that one. Next up, remember Kevin Flanagan? I do.
I do remember Kevin.
A little bit of insight on the Asian street
Who is
gangs. That's not the question. That's just his name. As a New Englander, he has some insight on the Asian street gangs related to the Rhode Island transgender shooter.
Especially with Rhode Island, like a small state. So I do have this question. So I'm intrigued.
As a New Englander, I thought I could shed some light on the whole Asian street gang thing that was mentioned at the hockey tranny shooter incident. Here in New England, we don't have a lot of stabber Americans. So most of our street crime is done. Those are KTLA Americans, if you don't know what stabber Americans are. Most of our street crime is done by Latino or Asian gangs. The Asians are usually the... Now, see, he says it's pronounced Khmer, but I always thought it was Khmer, like Khmer Rouge, but Khmer.
Yeah, it's Khmer.
He says this is Khmer, but it's spelled the same.
It's Khmer.
But I don't know if it's Cambodian. Anyway, he says it's Khmer, but since most people don't know how to pronounce that, they just refer to them as quote unquote Asians. I think the father-in-law, I don't think the father-in-law had any Asian street gang connections, and it was probably just for authenticity. For example, if I was going to say, or if you were going to say that you were going to have somebody killed in New Mexico, you'd probably say you'll send the cartels after them, not the mafia, because it's more regionally appropriate. Fun fact, the Khmer, or Khmer, however you say it, the Khmer are basically the Guatemalans of the Asian world, low socioeconomic level, and a lot of problems with broken homes. They're basically our Somalis, since they all got dumped. They all got dumped here after Pol Pot, but they actually work hard and they do well in school. Unlike Somalis, you're right. That would be Cambodian. Unlike the Somalis,
yeah, it's Cambodia.
Their food.
Go ahead.
Their food doesn't suck. However, thanks for listening to my TED Talk, and I hope our community finds this enlightening. Well, thank you.
So it's not pronounced Khmer. It's pronounced Khmer.
That's how I've always heard it in the context of the Khmer Rouge.
Yes,
but
I don't know what this.
Yeah,
it's Khmer.
Anyway, the grammar Nazi strikes again.
I don't know. Maybe locally,
Well, locally, those people are wrong.
Maybe those people pronounce it Khmer. So who knows?
Yeah, but this does add good context to the tranny shooting incident in Rhode Island, because that didn't make any sense to me, and this is a plausible explanation. For why there would be Asian street gangs referenced. Okay. I have a couple more, and I'm not going to be able to get to all my questions tonight. Be humble. I know you sent me a detailed question about your call last week about the loser mentality on the right. And I do want to get to that one. Maybe we'll have time to get to that one tonight, but I'm going to hold off for a moment. Maybe we'll do Super Chat and come back to it. I also, Joshy, I know you had some thoughts on Lent. Did you just want to offer those thoughts in lieu of an email question?
Lent is people nonsense.
Well,
you want to fight Skulldugger about Lent?
I'm not going to fight Skulldugger on Lent. Lent, when the Catholics do it, it's papal nonsense, but when we do it, it's the correct version. But
still papal nonsense.
Why don't we just wait on that?
Okay.
I want time to really get into it. But
let's see. We're just top of the hour. So why don't I take? Okay, let me do this. I'm going to hop back into the email questions. We'll do two more. One of them is really just a question about process, and I want to address that one first. That's our friend Maya DB, with the name I thought was a joke but isn't, Maya Dixon Butte, which sounds like Maya Dixon a butt. But that's not her actual name.
That's disgusting.
She just asked, or she says, I wanted to say I think the new panel format for the show has been a great addition. It's great to hear from different views from the show's regulars on topics. I think it gives the Wednesday show a fun and lively energy. Have you any ideas of maybe building on or playing around with this concept? Also, is there a way to set aside questions or comments for particular guests? I know I have a lot of questions for Robert, and I'm not sure when he will be on. So the reason I bring this up, first of all, thanks for the encouragement on the format adjustment, and I'm glad you're appreciating it. But I am aware that maybe you want certain people to opine about certain things. Especially with Robert, that's a little bit tough because Robert is very busy. He's always running from ICE. They never catch him, but he's always on the road. And I don't know when Robert's going to be on. So it's hard to say, okay, here's a question for Robert, and I'll definitely he's on at this time, so I'll bring it up then. In cases like that, if you want to bring something to someone's attention for more than just thought exercise, or you just want their opinion on it, like if you could really use Robert's attention for an important reason, I'd be happy to connect you by email, assuming Robert is okay with that. But you can email me. I'll ask Robert if that's all right, and we can make that connection. But yeah, it might be fun to be able to direct some audience interaction with the personalities more directly. But right now, with schedule irregularity, I don't necessarily have a way to do that, but I appreciate your thoughts and thanks for.
It would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you want to talk shit about a particular person, you can do it.
I can speak for Robert. You can just focus it to me. I can speak for him.
She didn't say what her question for Robert was, so I don't know.
All right, next week.
Yeah, I want to come back to Be Humble. Then we'll take Be Humbles, and then we'll catch up with Super Chat. We'll call it a night. But Be Humble had a voicemail. I think it was last week about. Was that last week, Skulldugger?
That was last week.
You were on with me.
I was.
Right? Yeah,
I was on. Yeah, that was last week.
So the voicemail was about the loser mentality on the right and adopting a winner's mentality such that you don't even consider the possibility that your opposition, as in the left wing, could gain power again. And we had some points of pushback on that with Robert, but Be Humble has a couple follow-up points that he wants us to consider. So he says, I'm going to have to push back on your response to my voicemail last week on how the right needs to use power to keep the left out of power. I have a couple of issues. Number one, it is not inevitable that this version of the left regains power. The fact that they rely heavily on illegal votes and inflated census data to keep whatever power they have, or there is the fact that, in fact, they do that, he says. Mass deportations and their voting restrictions can absolutely make the current leftist platform completely politically untenable. Number two, when you are faced with evil, the moral code you must abide by is not the same as if you were dealing with an innocent person. This is why killing in self-defense is morally square, and killing to protect the innocent from an immediate threat is morally required. In the same way, when the opposing political party's main objective is to murder babies, sterilize children, and usher in an invading force to overthrow the country, all while declaring God evil and Satan misunderstood, it is immoral not to do whatever it takes to keep them out of power. So, as far as my own commentary on this, and there's, I suppose, some points of disagreement, some opposition, it's not really around whether the left or this version of the left will ever gain power again. I think they probably will, but it's what we're talking about here is core moral concepts, not practical reality, whether this eventuality will materialize or not. That is to say, there are rules that we follow, not because we might suffer the consequences of those rules later, but because they are God's rules. They are rules that exist before us, above us. They're the moral framework of the universe. We have to follow those things. And just because we view our opposition as immoral doesn't necessarily mean we have the right to violate their rights, to break that moral code because we think that they are evildoers, even if a lot of them, to your point, kind of are evildoers. So as far as, I think we share the same idea or goal here, Be Humble. I don't think we're actually very far apart. That is to say, in the ideal world, the influence or the power of that political perspective, that ideology would be minimized. How do we achieve that? It would be my preference on moral terms to separate from that ideology. You have a split. You guys hang out over there. You do what you want to do, but I respect your right to your political sovereignty. You hang out over there. You do that. We're not going to do that. However, problem, and I think the validity in your question is this, Be Humble, and something I have to think about in my own perspective on this. What actually, let's say that you had the split and everybody agreed Society A over there is nonsense commie world and we're going to have Constitution 2 and we're very serious over here. When you have that split society, what prevents this damaging ideology, this damaging philosophy from rising again, either through people deceptively gaining access to your society, or maybe the next generation just comes to think it's a very good idea and they want to install that? In that case, as far as I understand, you have two options. You can do my preference that I will consistently argue for. You set up a structure that decentralizes power so that no one person has control or a lot of power to exert over a lot of people. The problem is that only works among other people who also value decentralized power. When other people thirst for power, they grab that lever, they work to control you. And so you end up perpetually fleeing. You want to escape their search for that centralized power. You go and you build something better far away from them until they come to take it again. So you have the option to perpetually flee in search of decentralized power, or you have the option, to your point, of getting forceful to keep them away from you. And that, I don't want, what worries me about your statement, Be Humble, is it is immoral not to do whatever it takes to keep them out of power. And whatever it takes is carte blanche as far as I read it, maybe you would clarify to me, but is that a blank check to violate any moral term that you deem appropriate? At that point, we're destroying the rules that have to be obeyed, not just for the sake of a stable society or something, but because they are God's rules. And if we're not playing by God's rules, we're not winning. We are not the author of these rules. They have to be obeyed for their own sake. To conclude, I think we're actually closer than maybe it seems. I think we're closer than further apart. We're both aiming for the same result, which is the absence of this anti-God hostility. And I think probably through the same means or very similar means, adherence to God's laws, but ironing out the exact code of conduct, that is to say, how to defeat the evil without becoming evil, is a very difficult question. And even though knee-jerk, some of your phrasing puts me in opposition to what you're saying, I have my own questions to answer about, okay, if you think it's more moral just to leave these people alone, what is your answer for when they don't leave you alone and they don't stop? And I don't know that I have a great answer for that, which is why I can't dismiss your question outright. And I think it's an important one and a thoughtful one. I just want to thank you for contributing to the show for that reason. But I know Batman's answer: we kill them, we shoot them, we put them against the wall. Or do you have more to offer?
Oh, you and I have had this very discussion many times, on and off air. And you know that I really am this close to just kill them all and let God sort them out. But no, there is a
in real life. All right.
So
in the streets,
I was definitely during.
He's about to join an Asian street gang. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
But no, I was definitely, I think, closer to that position during the Biden administration, because I really just saw our country falling apart, and I was really falling into a pit where I thought, I think we're digging so deep that I'm not sure that I see a way out. I think I've calmed down quite a bit since Trump's reelection, in large part because I'm seeing all of the great work he's doing. So is it going to be enough? No, he's not going to be able to achieve everything we need him to achieve to save this country inside of 4 years. And he's imperfect. It's not going to happen. But with this trend of more people becoming God-fearing, more accountability when it comes to voter ID laws, things of that nature, more people realizing these illegals are a remora attached to the bottom, the belly of our country, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Go down the line of all the policies. Killing babies is evil, all this stuff. More and more people are opening their eyes to that, and that's all we need. We just need to keep that trend going.
Skulldugger, I know you took that call or took that voicemail with me. Did you have any other thoughts you wanted to offer on this? I can pull those two questions up if you wanted to address them. Or do you just want to pass?
No, I mean, I can just sort of clarify and expand on what I was saying last week to this, and that is so I mean, I understand his Be Humble's clarification that maybe not the current version of the left will be empowered, but some version of the left will be empowered. Well, that's kind of moving the goalpost from where we were last week. The left is going to be back in power. It is going to happen. You just cannot look at the history of this country, and especially the recent history of this country. If our goal is to, and Joshy will love this statement. If our goal is to just make sure that our opponent never sees the levers of power again, then let's repeal the 22nd Amendment. Let's allow our president to just have as many terms as they want. Let's just install a monarchy, and we'll have one party rule until that person dies and hands it down to their progeny.
Bingo.
I mean, at that point, we're no longer in a democracy. If you are in a democracy, in a republic formatted government, you are going to trade off the levers of power between disparate factions. It's baked into the cake. It is part of what makes the system of government better than a monarchy. If you don't want the other side to have power, then you are a monarchist.
Better than a monarchy. Are you going to put up with that crap, Joshy?
That's some bullshit right there. But we're going but to kind of listen.
That's a good.
Look, we'll fight about it later. But to kind of back up Skulldugger, it's kind of like what the book of Ecclesiastes says, right? Saying what was is and what is will be again. To try to stop the left from gaining power, that's just simply not going to happen. The right's going to have power one day, the left's going to have power the next day. It's just a continuous pendulum swing. There's no way around that. That's just a fact of life. It doesn't matter whether you have a republic, a monarchy, a dictatorship, an oligarchy, or whatever. It's just going to shift back and forth. We're seeing a shift right now, but who's to say 100 years from now it won't shift back to where we're currently at, right? Like the left isn't like, I'll take all this satanic leftism stuff. Who's to say that? Let's say that we defeat communism now, right? Who's to say that 100 years from now, the idea of communism won't spring up again with the next generation that is there?
It somehow survives. It always comes back.
Yeah, it always comes back.
Yeah.
Some variation, some form. Just like Rome.
Well, thank you, Be Humble. Appreciate your thoughtful contribution to the show. And as a reminder, if you'd like to send a voicemail, text message, email to the show for consideration, check out the contact page on my website, mattchristiansenmedia.com/contact. That'll do it for tonight. Let's catch up with some super chats and we will call it an evening. Got to refresh here. See what we got on YouTube and Tippy. Where did I leave off? With Tim, right? Okay, Tortuga was next. A government of the people, by the people, and for the people, but the people are Tim Walz retarded, unfortunately.
The R word.
Yeah.
This is shameful.
Listen, I know he's an infidel, but that man had a point. Mad respect.
Who, Tim Walz?
No, not Tim Walz, the guy who said it.
Oh, Tortuga.
Have you seen
he's
that
not
clip?
He's not a, oh, wait. Oh, this is a quote.
Yeah, this is a quote.
Well,
you
what's
never
the quote?
seen that?
This is a Lincoln quote of by and for the people, but what's I actually don't. Okay,
it's a Muslim. It's an imam who quoted that, right? He said, "But the people are retarded."
I do. Okay, let me see if I can find that. Of, by, and for the people.
That would make a good sounder for you, man.
Yeah, I've never heard this.
Matt, I can't believe you.
Retarded. Now this is new to me. Let's see if I can.
That's been around for like over a decade, I think.
What is this?
It's an old video. You'll be able to see.
Wait, okay, it's 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Yes.
It's got almost 1 million likes. Let me pull this up before I play it, and you can tell me if this is the guy.
Yeah, the people are retarded.
He's like an Indian or something. He doesn't even look Muslim. Let me see.
No, he's Muslim.
Okay. Is this the guy?
Yes.
Let's play it.
Because democracy basically means
Did he just die?
No, he's thinking.
Government by the
Did he just
people,
die again?
of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
This is shameful.
Based.
Wow.
Well, the masses are asses. So
Thank you, Tortuga. I've never that's a new one to me. I've never seen that one before.
Oh, it turns out he probably is Hindu, according to somebody. But I'm pretty sure that guy's Muslim.
Injured Guardian, 3 X is X phrases that work. Okay, so are these retarded slackologies or are these legit? A job is a job, money is money, and a contract is a contract. Now, I would disagree with those statements for the same reason I would say love is love. That is to say, there are wildly immoral contracts, wildly immoral jobs, and wildly immoral ways to make money. So I don't know that those work any better than love is love for the same reasons.
Yeah, is it better to be unemployed or be a hitman?
Yeah, morally speaking, that's a very simple question.
Well, there are a lot of people you want to take out, Batman, so it might be better to be a hitman.
Only if you are a tranny eliminating Asian street gang member in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. We need those.
Even if those are true, though, like even if those are valid, they're still tautologies. They still don't communicate anything. It's like the phrase "it is what it is," which is one of those things I can't stand because like, you've told me absolutely nothing.
Even that
I was better off before you said.
To your point on deducing information from it. the information you can deduce from that, when people say that, what they mean is they're appealing to the wisdom of understanding what you can't change. When they say that, they
Then
mean
say that.
Yeah. They're appealing to what, the Serenity Prayer or whatever, that kind of thing.
Then
Look,
say
man,
the more
it is-
intelligent thing. Then
Yeah.
say the
Look,
thing that
man,
you want
it
me
is
to
what
get.
it is, okay?
All right, that was well played.
Bingo.
Okay,
Getting all the fights today.
Injured Guardian. By the way,
I am Irish.
the female form of Nelson is Natalka. So is that Nelson like
No,
this
that's-
Nelson guy,
That's some bull.
or are we talking about a different Nelson?
It's Natasha. Sorry, you tried too hard. I know these things. I'm an expert.
There's a relationship between the names Nelson and Natasha?
No, that just sounds better.
Self-described expert.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a self-described expert.
You can do that these days.
I may be brown, but I still know the blacks. I am
Greg
a black
Olson.
scholar.
I didn't say it was in linguistics.
Mhm.
No,
Greg
just be like Gavin Newsom. See, like, I'm dumb like you.
Well, see, that would be a lie, though. I'm way smart.
Yeah, checkmate, Gavin Newsom. My SAT score was 5.
Greg Olson, suggestion for interview Adam B. Coleman of Wrong Speak Media YouTube. His YouTube channel has begun to put together a documentary on trucking fraud with illegal immigrant drivers similar to Nick Shirley's work. Well, tell you what, Greg, could you email that to me? Because speaking of difficulty getting people, I don't have anybody lined up currently for this Sunday, so I'm scrambling trying to find somebody to do a segment this Sunday. So
all right, I'll do it. Jeez.
Nice. All right. You guys available? Can we get all of you back here? All right.
I am.
I can try.
We'll we'll put all 4 of you in the guest window, and we'll see if I can frame that up. Okay. But yeah, Greg, send me that name, or send me his channel, and I'll check it out. And if it lines up, maybe I could have him on as soon as Sunday. I need somebody to talk to. And if he knows stuff about suck deep truckers, then I want to hear about it, because that's a hot topic right now. Injured Guardian. Some Guatemalans speak Spanish that thinks it's Arabic. Spanish words and numbers, Arab meter, and Arab accent phonemes. I don't even know how to say that word. What is Phonemes? Phonemes?
Phonemes. Yeah.
Phonemes.
Okay. I'm doing the epitome of good pronunciation here. It
The way
hurts
things sound.
knowledgeable ears. Well, I've been known to do that myself, so that's all right. I'm something of a mispronouncer myself, I would say.
Yes, we know.
Tim says, "Do you see the thank you, Injured Guardian? Did you see the Grace Randolph's response to the BAFTA N-word situation? Firstly, she has to have Tourette's explained to her several times. She then basically called for segregating Davidson, to show support for black people. I don't know who she is, Grace Randolph, but it sounds like you know what this is. Yeah.
So she started out by saying, "I don't know anything about Tourette's."
Okay.
When you start your statement, when you start your analysis with that statement, you should just stop there.
Yeah, you should just quit.
But no, she went on for like half an hour. Like, it was just a marathon of bad take after bad take after bad take, even at one point suggesting that Davidson should be arrested because under under UK hate speech laws, this would qualify.
Dude, if he gets arrested, that'll be hilarious.
To be clear, Grace Randolph is one of those media reviewer personalities, leftward slanted. And I believe, okay, fine, tilted all the way in that direction. And I believe also one of her key traits is that her IQ doubles as her shoe size.
I've never heard of this person.
She's
this is
terrible.
her?
Jesus Christ, that picture.
She is She started out. So her like persona is Beyond Trailer. That's like her that's her brand. So she started out breaking down trailers.
Bro, she looks like a crazy bitch.
She is. She's absolutely nutsoid. Like she is like off the rails. So her trailer breakdowns were like historically bad, and then she moved into like full media review, and then that has like spawned into, for some reason, like pop culture commentating. Like but all of her takes are garbage. Like she is just she's a never-ending train of.
She's a fully female Destiny.
That'll be not so erudite. I'm sorry.
No, so not so erudite actually will luck upon an okay opinion every now and then. So Grace Randolph cannot. She's incapable of the actual like synthesis required to get to a good take. It's just bad takes, and her takes on this the BAFTA thing are epically bad, and she just went on and on and on, and she had people in her community who were trying to like stop her. They're like in real time.
Is she doing this on X, or where do I go look at this stuff?
I'm gonna look that up too.
She live streams somewhere. I don't know where.
She's got a YouTube channel.
I think it was live stream on YouTube, and like her live chat is like trying to like educate her in real time, and she's pushing back on them after she started out by saying she doesn't know what Tourette's is, and then she like goes on this diatribe about how like she's some expert on what the downstream impact of this Tourette's related situation should be.
All right. I'll have to check it out. I didn't know who Grace Randolph was.
Actually, Sean at Actual Justice Warrior did a great video today.
Oh, okay.
Released today.
Well, he'll break it down well. I should check that out.
Yes. Yeah, he had a great one.
I'll have to check it out. Thank you, Tim. And I'm CIA.
Fed.
Always love my CIA listeners. Rule of Acquisition 17. A contract is a contract is a contract, but only between, here's another word, Ferengi, F-E-R-E-N-G.
It's a Star Trek reference.
That's a Star Trek reference.
Basically, they're space Jews.
The space Jews.
Oh, okay. So that's why I love all.
You think I'm kidding, but you should see their noses.
But instead, and then they have the exaggerated ears,
the giant ears. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know. I'm more of a Star Wars.
And they love gold. They love gold.
Oh, those guys. Though, yeah, I recognize these things now.
They love gold, even though it doesn't hold any value in the in the Federation.
Well, it
holds
value in their society.
Yes, it's
which is
only
why
for
they
their
say
society.
a contract is a contract is a contract, but only between Ferengi. Which
it's used for like gambling and stuff.
Question mark?
They also run like casinos and stuff. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
This guy is even doing the grubby hands. Look at him.
They also control the weather.
Oh, well.
Really?
All right. Right on brand. Okay.
On their own planet, yes.
Thank you, Mr. CIA.
Alrighty.
Say hi to all your friends for me. And
they do, in fact, wear a small hat.
A yarmulke?
Over on a yarmulke. Over on Rumble, Book Track Groves. Speaking of interviews, you should interview Dave J. Riley. Ask him hard on Homo Nick Fuentes. Is he an expert on Homo Nick Fuentes? I don't. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
That'd be a weird thing to be known as an expert on the internet as.
So I hear you know a lot about Nick Fuentes' homosexuality.
His homosexual proclivities.
Enlighten me. All right. Thank you, Book Track Groups. Appreciate it. Purpose of the age is use an AI avatar of an attractive woman overlaying the red pill ideas of a male panelist. This would hilariously challenge everyone's sexuality as they struggle with knowing which panelist is a man. Well, you'd have to do the voice, too. You'd have to alter not just the image, but the voice. But I'm sure we're not actually... I'm sure, like, in a little while, there will be a button you click on Zoom. Make them all hot chicks. And it will... it'll... It'll make it perfect. You won't even be able to tell. So just stick around for a little while.
Yeah, you would not be able to tell, but I think it's going to be a little while before they can do voice modulation well enough to make me sound female.
Well, we'll see. They're working on it.
Well, first of all,
I don't know.
have to try.
I don't know. You kind of look like you sound like that chick that tried to set that building on fire.
You know, that's fair. That's fair.
You wouldn't need to modify me. I sound girly enough as it is.
That's true. We just put a bow in your hair, and you could pass. Yeah, you could. We just have to make
or
your
just
voice.
Spend enough time around the fag flag radiation, and you'll.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. We don't. I mean, in the future, we'll all be lesbian.
We'll all drive kids off cliffs.
We just have to get your voice to Whoopi Goldberg, and it would pass. It doesn't have to go the full spectrum. It just has to get to Whoopi.
Wait, so we need to punch him in the throat repeatedly?
Just smoke a bunch of cigarettes, and you'll sound like her.
So, look, we're all gonna be driving Subarus later on. Okay.
Hey, don't. This is you're not allowed to criticize Subaru on this show.
Yeah, half of us drive Subarus now.
Actually, well, are you outing yourself as a Subaru driver? I was going to say,
I'm a Subaru driver.
I'm not going to put you on the spot, Batman. But I know some stuff about Batman's car.
Skulldugger.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing is, I live in an area where there's a lot of Subaru drivers and a lot of lesbians, and I will tell you, there's not a large overlap between the two. Just saying.
They exist, but you know,
you disappointed me for the third time this night.
All right. All right, I got some super chats.
Subarus, and I can tell you that actually once upon a time Subaru was called Nakajima, and they made the bomber that hit Pearl Harbor.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Interesting piece of history.
Moving on.
Injured Guardian. It helps to finish reading the money chat. Oh, did I forget part of it? Sorry. Which one did I forget? Oh, P.S. Oh, it was so he had chatted earlier. You're right, because it was. Job is a job, money is a money, contract is a contract. P.S. This is another thing I can't read. What is this, Latin?
It's Latin.
Pecunia non ole. You guys recognize that one?
No, I don't.
No.
I'll type this in and see.
My Latin's not good enough.
I know a little bit of Latin, but none of those.
Let's see if I can get a definition on this. Okay, so it is a Latin money. Okay, it means money does not smell or stink. A phrase attributed to Roman Emperor Vespasian. Is that correct? Vespasian. Regarding a tax on public urine collection. Okay. Money does not smell or stink. I also would not agree with that. It metaphorically does. Sometimes it literally might, but it definitely metaphorically does from time to time. Anyway, thank you for that. Sorry for missing that earlier, Injured Guardian. Taker610, Grace Randolph has bad take Tourette's. She just can't help herself. Yeah, that sounds about right. Injured Guardian is Grace Randolph kin to the actress Joyce R. Who is Joyce R? Do you guys know?
Oh,
Joyce Reed?
Yeah, I don't know.
Joyce Randolph, I would imagine.
Yeah, I assume. Yeah, you're right. Joyce Randolph. I don't know. I learned about Grace Randolph 10 minutes ago, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
I
haven't done the Grace Randolph backstory. I'm sorry.
It's gold pressed Latinum for the Ferengi, not gold.
Yes. Technically,
I don't even know what that is.
Gold pressed Latinum, but it is a placeholder for gold. They are space Jews who love gold. Like this is.
And if you see gold pressed Latinum, it's literally just gold bars.
Are those hats gold that they're wearing, or is that part of their skull?
I told you they wear tiny hats.
I know, but it's like a visor on the back. Is that?
Yeah.
Are you sure they're just not space leprechauns? Because they love gold.
No, they're space Jews.
All right. Anything else you guys want to mention before we're out of here? That's everything on the chat.
No. I still think that's
So the one thing I wanted to touch back on the BAFTA N-word thing is, if you are actually offended by that, you are either a retard or a disingenuous faggot.
The R word.
This is come on. You can't be both.
Somebody just screaming
that out loud. Those two things are not mutually exclusive.
You know what? I had not even considered that until right now. In fact, I think that actually covers a lot of the people who claim to be offended by that. They are both retarded and disingenuous faggots. You know what?
They're disingenuous faggots, and they're retarded because they think that it'll work.
Yeah. I guarantee you that a lot of black people who heard that probably busted out laughing because it was just so out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
Not Michael B. Jordan. His parents cried. All right.
It's the children who are wrong.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks to our live chatters and super chatters for making the live show a success. If you're listening on demand later, thank you kindly as well for supporting the show. Thanks to our callers and emailers for contributing. Thanks to Batman and Skulldugger and Joshy Boy with a surprise appearance. Thanks to producer Tim for his assistance. As always, find everything show related at mattchristiansenmedia.com, mattis.k if you prefer brevity. I'll be back on Sunday.
Good night, everyone.
See you guys.